Are you ready to rumble? Hey everyone, RT Bear, Hack Shack Studios, 35-year comic book veteran. Have been working for mostly Marvel and DC for the past 35 years. And with me, the most talented writer, artist, Taylor Grosso.
Hi, everybody.
Yes, these are the last days of the potato cam in the studio. So Taylor's still got to yell, and I got to yell, and we have this really primitive setup here. What we're gonna do after we get rid of the potato cam here, we're gonna videotape, or we're gonna take a photo of this apparatus that we have here, right? So you guys can see how crazy this is.
You won't believe it.
Yeah, if it wasn't for this creation, this wonderful creation by man, duct tape, then we wouldn't even be able to, do this show right now.
Now accepting sponsorships.
For duct tape. No, hopefully we'll never have to look at duct tape again. That would be nice. Yeah, that would be superb. So, yeah, it's been a while. I've been talking about doing some drawing and inking for you guys for a while. So here we go. So we're going to do some drawing and inking for you guys. Feel free in the chat to talk away, to ask all the questions. And how you been, Taylor?
I've been good, Art. How have you been?
I've been good. I've been busy.
Likewise.
We've been working on this book, you guys. This wonderful book called Black and White. And should we tell them about... God, we have so much to talk about. We have a computer to talk about. We have the work in front of you to talk about. And then we have...
the stretch goals, which we showed off in the last video, if you guys have seen.
Ooh, you want to talk about that first?
Yeah, if you guys watch the... by the way, we're monetized now, in case you guys didn't notice. We have a super chat. I'll be here reading your chats while we're working here. And we have a super chat, so if you want to boost your comment and give us a little tip, you can... send us some cash that way. The monetization helps for studio upgrades, like the new stuff we got that we'll show you in a minute. But we just got the stretch goals for the campaign in, and if you watch the last video, there's a little showcase of each one of those stretch goals if you want to get a look at some of the goodies you will get if you already have, or if you're planning on backing Black and White.
Or blacking. That's cool too.
Title says, you can use your phone for a live stream of the current setup.
Oh, no. Trust me, you don't want to see
live
this.
Stream from the live stream.
He wants to see this monstrosity. You guys have ever heard of there was a guy named Victor Frankenstein, and he made this thing. They call it Frankenstein's monster. Well, that has nothing on this apparatus that's holding this camera up right now.
How big of a super chat would it take, Art, for you to reveal the current setup?
$1 billion. We already said we were gonna put it up on Twitter.
Yeah, but we could boost it faster if we had the right amount.
Or I could just back up and say, I was just kidding about that.
You guys will never know when you see it whether it was just a mock-up to make you guys laugh if it was real.
Yeah. But anyways, if you guys want to feel like superheroes, do the super chat.
Super chat for
Super chat for superheroes. So, do we get that out of the way?
Yeah, I just realized that Skelly's not in the shot.
Skelly?
The skeleton.
Oh, our studio mascot.
I could move him back in.
Would you be able to see him?
Yeah, I'll move him back in. Hold on.
Yeah, he wants to hang out with everybody.
You guys want to see?
Didn't we have a name for him?
I don't know.
It was Vince.
Vince. Ooh,
Oh, Vince's leg fell off. You broke Vince.
His leg fell. Poor thing.
Oh, there he is. Sorry,
Put it
Vince.
back in.
I see a rib cage.
Is that it?
Is that?
Oh, there's his head. I can see.
Oh, you can see it.
Here, I'll show you the feed.
You see different than I do. Oh, there he is. Vince Skellington.
Oh.
Poor Vince. We call him McBones.
He looks a little folded over, but he's there.
But anyways, before I start doodling, I got something to show you. We finally got it. Here it is. This is not a box of chocolates. This is actually a computer. This is a full-on computer. And once we're done, we just got this today. So UPS just signed off, and or I signed off and they delivered. And so we got this.
It's tiny.
It's tiny. We got our little, this is even smaller, our little mouse here. So we got the mouse. And so you're going to hear some clicking now. Let me see if I can open this.
This will be the first click.
The first click. Okay, here we go.
Oh, that doesn't feel like home yet.
Feels like Morse code.
Humphrey.
Send help. What? Wendy fell down the well? Bring help. The native Indians. They have us surrounded. Sorry.
Humphrey Bear says hello.
Hey, Humphrey. What up? We're
You came
being
just in time.
yeah, we're being silly here. We've been focused on it's a scene, but it's really just one page in a scene. And I don't know if there's any writers out here, but sometimes you oversee. How did we do that? We missed the biggest, probably one of the biggest story elements. We just kind of bypassed it, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid going into detail, but basically we spent like the last 2 days hyper focusing on not adding something, but I guess just finalizing something and making sure that it followed through in every part of the story.
Well, it's kind of a new page, but it took the place of a old page. And so it clarifies the villain's motives and his relationship with poor Whitney Sung.
Which is obviously a very pivotal thing in the story. Title says Hack Shack can put a mini comic out of Mick Bones in the main comic books.
Mick Bones. It's Vince McBones.
That sounds like a wrestler.
Well, we started off with Ready to Rumble. So I bring you Vince
Give
McBones.
him the bone saw.
He's only 30 pounds, but it's all solid bone. He'll give you the bony elbow.
See? And that's how you pitch.
All his attack moves are all like the bony knee, the bony elbow, and the hard forehead.
When he does like a falling drop with the elbow, they're like, that elbow bone's connected to that guy's head bone. As he jumps down.
Full on connection. The elbow bone to the head bone. And he's out.
I like this.
Once again, Vince McBones, champion.
The next book after Black and White.
You know what? I just realized we've been focusing way too long and we needed this chat. This chat is therapy, you guys.
You guys are bringing us back to life.
Ooh, like that song, that Evanescence song.
Ew. So what are you working on right now, Art?
Okay. Did we update on everything?
I think so. So I don't know if we mentioned this, but Black and White is still in demand in the in-demand store on Indiegogo, and we're probably not going to have it in there for a super long time.
Yeah, at least for the rest of this month. I know that for sure. We still need to talk. Yeah, I'm not really sure how this stuff works, so it's all work in progress.
But check out those stretch goals, and also there's a new commission tier that's up right now that's probably not going to be up for very long.
Ooh, yeah, commissions.
So if you want a commission, jump on that. I'm going to post a link right now.
The commissions go fast. Maybe before we're done, I can show you some prints of past commissions. So a lot of the prints that I have up in my store were actually commissions at one time.
And some of the prints and stuff, like I guess some of the prints lately, I'm trying to think of what the latest one was. The Wolverine?
Yeah, the Wolverine was commissioned. I think the Cable one was as well. So yeah, so I'm going to bring this page together for you guys. So let me see if I can focus here. Okay, so this is the rough. And so this is an old panel from the original. This is a piece from an old panel from the original. This is kind of just a new thumbnail, and then this is the thumbnail for the layout. So this was page 33, but it's now page 34, right, Taylor?
Yeah, that's page 34 now.
Because we just recreated that one page. Okay, so we have that. So then I have this one, which is, let me get these out of here.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. They can't read anything. So this is what the layout became. So this is a little tighter. And so then this is with the finished patch. And then this is the redrawn patch. And this is a partial. So all I have to do is put the little girl running in. So you can kind of see how this is done together. It's all pieces, and then it's brought together digitally. So here's some of the patches. So this patch right here is this one here.
Pretty cool.
And then this one is this one here. And this one is from another page. And then here's the rough layout. I don't know if you can see it in pencil form for the house burning.
Ooh.
Yeesh. So what I'm going to be doing is inking the finalized version of the skull.
Title says, it looks like the villain's connection to why is he pulled a Zeus by getting birth from his tongue. The villain isn't the skull.
The skull. Oh, wait, there's a theme going on. Oh, here's the house.
Or is it the skull?
What is that Talking Head song? Burning down the house. Yeah.
Here's your ticket back. Yeah.
Yeah. Poor Whitney. She's seen some stuff.
She's been through a lot.
She's been through a lot. Okay, I got tons of this stuff all around, these little layout ideas. They're everywhere you want to be. Let me find my tools here.
So Art, did you see that just in superhero news stuff that Glass just came out?
Oh man. What do you guys in the chat think this thing's gonna do? Is it gonna do well? Is it gonna be weird?
I'm really disappointed in us that we didn't do a Glass versus something, but there's nothing that we could really do a versus against.
The original Unbreakable.
Oh, well then there'd be no question.
Unbreakable as a movie is really, really good. It's pretty flawless.
I was debating rewatching it soon. Our feed looks a little fuzzy. I can't tell if it's our connection.
Is it the light, maybe?
I don't think so.
The camera, our potato cam?
Well, I'm gonna touch it and see if I can get it to focus. Although it looks like it might just be a brief connection thing. Yeah. Sorry for the bounce. Okay, I think that's...
Taylor's touching
I
things.
had to touch the computer. Okay, it's better now.
I'm not touching you.
So yeah, that just came out. I didn't know if it was on your watch list or not, or if anybody in the chat has gone and seen it.
I don't know. I feel like they kind of maybe took it too far when that guy's running across the quad like an animal.
Yeah.
And isn't there a shot too where he's like on the wall like Spider-Man?
Yeah, he's like crawling on the wall, and then the most embarrassing thing that like they cut from a lot of the early commercials is he was like roaring at the camera, and it was just really silly looking. We could have pitted it against, but I guess there's too much a gap between them. Is we could have pitted it against the new X-Men movie, but I think we pitted. I don't remember what we put against it in our verses, because I know we talked about that X-Men movie.
Was it against Shazam or something like that?
Oh, you know what? I think it was. Let's see. 'Cause I know a lot of stuff has been happening in the world of superhero movie news. They said that Silver Surfer is going to be the, I don't know if you heard this, Silver Surfer is going to be the next character to show up in the Marvel Cinematic MCU.
Well, it's about time.
I don't know.
Surfing with the alien.
Was that a tagline?
That was a guitar virtuoso from the 80s. I don't know when it was. And he used a Jack Kirby piece of artwork of the Silver Surfer for the album cover.
Really?
Yeah, and the album's called Surfing with the Alien.
Hardware versus Joey Satriani?
Joey.
Joe Satriani?
Joey, yes. Joey, baby.
Title says, IDK, Glass has really good actors in it, and I just watched Split, and Professor X has issues.
Yeah, he does. I'm hoping for the best because, like I said, I really like Glass, and from what I hear, I think you saw Split, right?
I saw Split and I really liked it, but I found out through some digging that it was a script that he wrote like years ago that got rejected. So it has a very different tone than M. Night's current movies, I guess. So I don't know how this is gonna hold up against it. Split also had really good people working on it besides him, and he didn't.
So what are you saying?
He didn't have the same. I don't have the same hopes.
So what are you saying, that M. Night left to his own demise is?
I don't trust him at all. And Sam Jackson has been taking on some questionable roles lately, or I don't know if he even cares.
Was that a hint or a shot at Captain Marvel?
Maybe. Did you see that people on Twitter were like,
why do you hate Brie Larson?
I don't. I liked her in Glass Castles and in Short Term 12. But she wasn't a superhero in either one of those. She was like a sad average woman, like what she looks like.
Like a sad average woman?
Yes.
A sad, slightly above average woman.
She has sad eyes. Like she has a sadness in her eyes.
That's why she's going to be the perfect Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Because,
that's what we need.
Because Captain Marvel's just sad.
Did you see, we already talked about Ghostbusters, which is the big movie news going around.
Yeah, I want to get excited. I kind of do, but I'm not. I'm not good. I'm going to hold back from that.
Yeah, I made that mistake once. Apparently there's some new details revealed about it. Would you like to hear?
About
about Ghostbusters?
Sure.
Okay. Let me see if I can ever get through this. If these are even big details. Okay. The main characters of Ghostbusters 3 will be a 13-year-old boy and a 12-year-old girl.
Perfect.
The former is...
One's name's Reed Blackett, and the other one is Whitney Sung.
Ooh, let's sue them.
They're going to realize that the paranormal can only be...
Black
and white.
Ooh, and then they show the black and white symbol, and it goes do 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 do.
Dun, 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 dun. Who you gonna call?
Target drifts over.
Black and white.
Let's see. So the main characters will be a 13-year-old boy and a 12-year-old girl. The former is reportedly passionate about fantasy and conspiracy theories, while the latter is an intelligent kid who has difficulty interpreting and expressing emotions and speaks with a flat delivery.
I wonder if that's going to be the boy.
No, it's the girl.
Are you kidding?
So it speaks with a flat delivery that makes her observations humorous.
You know what? When you were saying that, I was thinking, like, this is like just a younger version of Mulder and Scully.
Actually, yeah, it is.
The truth is out there.
It totally is, because if the boy's the one that's like into the conspiracy theory and stuff, and then she's just like a flat spoken kind of observation. Let's see. Could it be that the children are descendants of the original Ghostbusters team? Or did they take inspiration from their actions and get into ghostbusting on their own? I hope not.
What? This is like Little Ghostbusters? Like...
That's what it sounds
No!
like. We have to wonder which, if any, of the original cast members will be returning. Dan Aykroyd actually talked about this film being in the works years ago. He's the only one that seems like he's involved thus far.
Well, he was involved with the other one, too.
Oh, that's right. So those are the details that we know about.
Well, I'm checking out already.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I mean, little kids? So what? They just like, ooh, like it's like Jumanji. They find the Ecto-1 and it's like, it's beating like boom, 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 boom. And then they open the doors like that. What's the one that eats all the food, the ghost?
Oh, Slimer?
Slimer. He comes flying up. Ah, what is that? And then the credits start.
Oh gosh.
What was that? And then they cut back. I don't know.
This feels very 90s.
But it's whatever signature is off the charts.
This sounds like a cartoon pitch. Like even just the concept. Have you seen the trailer for Sam Elliott's new film titled The Man Who Shot Hitler? And then what? It's called The Man Who Shot Hitler, Then Bigfoot.
Wow, it sounds like Mike Miller meets Doug.
It does.
It's like Lone Star meets Bigfoot Bill.
The Man Who Shot Hitler, Then Bigfoot.
Well, I would like to say if Sam Elliott's in it, it's going to be a great movie, but that guy has taken a lot of bad roles too.
I'm intrigued because of that, though.
I like Sam Elliott a lot.
I want to see Justin Long in a Ghostbuster movie, says title.
Wait, is Justin Long in that movie?
I don't know. I want to see Justin Long in a Ghostbusters movie. Murray died, he can only communicate through Justin Long. That's
That would
very
be
specific.
You know what? That sounds better than the movie that Taylor just read.
It does. I'd watch that.
Justin Long made it a completely better movie. You know what I'd like to see in a scary movie is like Justin Long and Eddie Murphy, and just see who could oh gosh, ooh, oh my god, oh my god, oh my gosh. What was that? What was that?
They're both in the same vein of always looking spooked.
Always yeah. What is a good female actress that does that well too? Like it'd be like,
oh gosh, there aren't any now.
it'd just be all like, ooh, oh my gosh, what was that?
There's no like goofy. That's another thing that bugs me. Like besides even Kristen Wiig now, like there's no like. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like some that aren't like almost to like children level. There's not like any goofy female leads anymore. Like there used to kind of be a weird subsect of like Lucy types where they were attractive but also kind of goofy, and there really aren't any anymore because they used to always play those kind of roles.
Yeah.
Let's see. Long, Murphy, and Chris Tucker fill those roles now. This is title.
I wonder what Chris Tucker looks like now.
I haven't seen Chris Tucker.
Let's get Chris Tucker out of retirement.
What has he even been in now?
Chris Tucker keeps like, oh my. Is that a ghost?
He still kind of has the cool vibe.
And then Justin Long is like hidden behind some boxes like, I think it was a ghost.
Justin Long would be a good Shaggy. Now that I think of it.
He's always hungry. What the heck? What the heck was that?
The Scaredy Crew.
The Scaredy Crew.
Let's make our own.
Wait a minute, did somebody in the chat say that?
No, I did.
That was perfect.
Let's make our own.
I'm sorry I didn't give you credit for that.
Let's make our own Ghostbusters Scooby-Doo type thing with just those guys and call it the Scaredy Crew.
The Scaredy Crew.
Where they're all just like that. Like none of them are brave. Ghosts just find them. Let's see.
It's like you know how they have that thing in like Hollywood where they're attracted to fear? Like they always do that. Like they did that in the Justice League movie. Which, by the way, you guys, if you want to see a good movie that did that first, is that Guardians? What is that called?
Rise of the Guardians?
Rise of the Guardians. My gosh, it's not quite a kid's movie, but they do that Justice League beat way better. But Hollywood does it all the time. Like, it smells fear or whatever, then it attacks you.
I always liked.
So they could do that, but it's because of their fear is what attracts the ghost to them.
I would totally like that.
And so it'd be kind of like
the wimpiest guys.
I see dead people, but it's like they're always like fearful. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
They have to purposely.
You need to go away.
Purposely form a team of the wimpiest people. It would be perfect.
They need to be strong.
You know what we haven't done a reaction to, and we should?
The movie we just made up?
Besides that, that's just brilliant. But we work as a team, Hollywood, if you want to get us in there.
Yeah, Hollywood. You can get 2 for the price of 1.
We can crank out these concepts. They don't have to be bad. You don't have to do another, like, Kevin Hart movie about the same stuff.
All we need is a potato cam and an audience.
And the world of imagination.
And a childlike imagination.
What was I gonna say?
Oh wait, I gotta back up. Okay, somebody thought they were insulting me, and they go, you know what? You're just like a kid. You know, you're like Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes, and I'm like, yeah, no crap. I draw comic books. Like, how adult do you want me to be? You know what I mean? It's not like I'm a cop or a fireman. Like I draw pictures.
You think I'm gonna have like this terse with it personality?
Yeah, how adult do you think I should be?
These books would majorly suffer if you were.
I'm like, ouch, that hurt. It's like when we talked about this the other day, Taylor. I think this is funny. Like I wish I would have knew this when I was a kid. You know, like when people like like bullies on the play yard, right? And they go, oh, 4 eyes, or they go, you're short, or they go like you're whatever, right? They find the one thing that defines you, or that's the obvious thing, right? Oh, 4 eyes, or they used to call me half pint and like and stuff because I was short.
Short guys have it rough
Yeah.
at a certain age, man.
Especially as a guy. And then I just wish I would have thought of this when I was a kid and just go, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. I'm short. You figured that out all on your own? Like really? Or like if you like, oh, you're 4 eyes. Like, yeah, I wear glasses. Thanks
How
for
original.
Thanks for pointing out the obvious, genius.
How original that you noticed that I'm short.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna say we should totally do a reaction to a movie you introduced me to. The new John Wick movie just got a teaser trailer.
John Wick 3.
Yes.
Yes.
And you
Why? Those things are so good. I'm like thinking it's such an obvious formula. Like, and it's such an old like formula, like I don't know, 80s, 90s films or whatever.
Definitely.
And yet, man, it works so well. Like they did in the first one, they do the obvious thing, like, oh, that guy kills his dog. Like if you read this if you read this story or like somebody pitches to you, go, they kill his dog and it sends them off on a spiral of, like whatever. And it's like, you would just never, right? You would never sign off on that.
It sounds so tacky and it does sound like very 80s.
Yeah, they killed his dog.
It's the last straw.
It was the last straw.
Yeah, I can't wait. I remember because I didn't see that movie when it first came out because it looked very just like cliche. And then you told me, you're like, you have to see this movie. Like, it's the best. I think the way you put it was like, it's the best of what like an action movie can be.
Yeah, and it's just like it's such the obvious tropes. Like that movie does not cover any new ground. You know what I mean? Like it's exactly what you think it would be, and yet it still works.
It really does. The world that they create is really weird and interesting. And they're kind of expanding it more and more in each movie, so I'm excited.
Yeah, and more power to them. Whatever the formula is, I think it's just one of those things that sometimes it's not the idea, it's the execution. It's like how they put the pieces together. Because you could have a great idea, but the execution could be absolutely, horrible. But John Wick, I think, is one of those. It's like it's an okay idea that's just executed amazingly well.
Yeah, it really is. That's a good way to put it. Star Tiger says hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Oh, Star Tiger, do you want to feel like a superhero? Well, we have super chats.
Super chats for superheroes.
For superheroes.
I almost said for super chaps, but that just sounds like I have a lisp.
Super chappies. Speaking of brilliant movies.
Battle Angel Alita.
No.
Did you see the new trailer?
No. I don't want to hurt myself.
They show her playing motorball.
Jeez.
It looks pretty funny.
Gosh. I wanted that movie for years when I heard Jim Cameron optioned it. It was even before they did, what's it? I always want to say Last Airbender, but Avatar. And I held out hopes for it because he does like really good like female leads.
Yeah, he does.
Terminator and Aliens and stuff like that. So I thought, man, he's gonna do great. And I'm not gonna hold. What was that other Angel thing? That TV show he did?
Oh my gosh, what was that thing
Dark
called?
Angel or
Yes.
some stupid. Yeah, like when I first heard that was announced, I was thinking it was Battle Angel Alita.
Because isn't it set in like a future-y kind of like a dystopian kind of world?
Yeah. But anyway, then when I saw the trailer for Battle Angel, I was like, why? What's with the eyes? I can't get past the eyes.
It's so ugly.
It's like Gollum.
It totally looks like Gollum. How come I know we've made the comparison in a video, but how come nobody's done like a side by side of how obvious it is?
Yeah, there should be memes floating. I guess they're gonna wait for the movie to come out, But it seems like somebody would have already, put that up.
Oh man, I forgot. There's something I've been meaning to ask you too, and this is a good time. What do you
Yeah,
think?
right in front of a bunch of people.
What do you think of Black Panther getting an Oscar nomination?
For what? Best Picture?
Yes.
No.
It's and Disney CEO congratulates Black Panther for a groundbreaking Oscar nomination for Best Picture. So it's like the first real superhero Marvel movie that's made it in that category.
Well, you know what? I would never ever say it's a bad movie because it's not. And I did enjoy the hell out of it. And I think Black Panther, ever since I was a kid, was one of my favorite characters. But I just don't like us pretending that it was a great movie. Like, it was a really good movie. It was entertaining. But to be honest, it didn't entertain me any better than John Wick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like at best, it was a good 2 hour movie. There's Marvel movies that I would put it right up there with, like the second Ant-Man or Iron Man 3, or like stuff like that,
It's
or
like,
Thor: The Dark Realm, or
yeah, like I don't know. I guess like mid to upper tier Marvel movies level.
yeah.
Like it's not bad, like you said. Like it's an enjoyable movie, but I don't think it's the best of the Marvel movies. And it's kind of disappointing that, on one hand, I'm happy that like a superhero movie made it into like the Best Picture nomination, but
But was it the best superhero movie?
yeah,
Like when you have a movie like Nolan's Dark Knight,
yes,
um,
I guess that made it in, but didn't win. I don't think.
but it at least you could see the merits of it.
It's like that's a thing too. Like now that I think about it, not to like diss any of the Marvel movies, but like Black Panther doesn't even really have any crazy movie making things in it. Like it's filmed fine. It's filmed like a standard Marvel movie. The music is fine. It's very average. It's not really shot like there was no scene that I thought was shot in such an interesting way where I'm like, wow, this is a great piece of film. Whereas in Dark Knight, there's scenes like we always talk about, like when Batman grabs that guy from the building and flies him like back to Gotham to put him back like on the ground.
Oh, the thing where he's in was it Hong Kong or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
That scene is filmed like beautifully.
Yeah, that's like cinematically amazing.
Like there's multiple scenes in that movie, and even like, gosh, most of the like altercation scenes are like filmed really, really well. But like Black Panther is filmed. It's not filmed poorly, but it's just like typical Marvel fare. It's not like it's a movie making Marvel as far as effects, or the writing's pretty much like every.
I just think
standard.
there's better Marvel movies than that. And the thing is, not I don't want to seem like we're picking on the movie. I think that I hate to say it, but I think some of it's politically motivated. I
Definitely.
think there's a little bit of politics involved, a little what do they call that? Not racial politics, but I guess that's the word for it. And they made it out to be more of an important film than I think it really is. And just to even go beyond that, just as far as just a cinematic superhero movie, like they created the character like that, he's so kind of powerful that the climax of the scene, just so the two heroes could fight against each other, they had to take their powers away from them. Remember
Yes.
that magnetic whatever it was, the vibranium subway scene.
To like take some of their suit away so they could actually harm each other.
Right, so they could harm each other. And the thing is, like even Iron Man's suit gets torn away. Like Tony Stark gets jacked up in the suit, so it's compelling. The suit isn't like, it's still the man in the suit. It always comes back to the man in the suit. And I just feel like, just as fundamental superhero 101, I think they created that character's powers to become so, is it flawless or so powerful that you can't hurt that guy.
Yeah.
Like he just became like way too powerful. And then there was
no stakes.
Right, and then there was the thing where, they added on to the suit like that he could like push back his power. How is that? Whether he absorbs the power and then is able to redirect it and stuff like that. And I don't ever really remember that part of like Black Panther's mythology.
I'm pretty sure that was invented by the movie.
Right. And I understand, like, when you have, if you're going to put a character like that in an Avengers movie, I understand, like, you have to step up the stakes. You know what I mean? So he can fight side by side with Thor and Iron Man and these other characters. But it also makes for the way they did it. It makes for a character that isn't quite as compelling because he feels like you can't hurt him. And they didn't even set up, like, like there's Superman, right? But the way you hurt Superman is you don't hurt Superman, you hurt the human being that is Superman. Like that's how you get to Superman.
Yeah.
But like they didn't even really point out those kind of flaws in the Panther.
They didn't do a lot of establishing stuff like that. James Hayes says identity politics, yeah. And Hardware says, and I think this is true, says hashtag Oscars so white. Yeah, it's funny that last year they pretty much got crapped on because it like they had mostly white people, so now they're just amping it up with a bunch of arbitrary black like creators. Like if I was one of them, I'd just be like, I don't want your stupid nomination out of like so you guys can feel like you're woke or something.
Right. And the problem with that is like when they do stuff like that, it seems that transparent and the average Joe understands that. Well, then isn't the credibility of the whole awards ceremony thrown out the window? Because it really isn't the best picture anymore. It's what you want to feel good about. Like it's, you know what I mean? Like you're nominating a film that gives you some kind of street cred or some kind of, not street cred, what is it? Like political cred
or some credibility so they can
feel good about like that you're, I don't know, helping people, or I don't know what the heck their end game is, but it's really weird.
Meanwhile, there's actually like good black creators making good movies that are getting snubbed for Black Panther.
Yeah, you know what? I mean,
that's why it's annoying.
If we're gonna get into this, like, well, let's just get into this. Okay, what was it? Get Out? What? Get Scared? What was it? Get Out. Like those. What are they? The Key and Peele.
Oh gosh, Key and Peele.
Those guys.
Yeah, and horror movies always get snubbed. Like Hereditary got snubbed. I think Get Out got snubbed last time. They made it into like a joke, and then.
Yeah, like that's a really compelling film. Like I don't know. I think it's probably cinematically a better movie than Black Panther. I think there is some third act problems with the reveal and things, but overall I think it's, I don't know, I enjoyed it, and I think that if you're how sometimes they go, well, he got nominated because of the body of work or whatever. But at least there I could go, yeah, those guys have a great body of work.
Yeah, I agree. People are saying, and this actually, I was going to get into this, Winter Soldier is still the best Marvel movie. Winter Soldier is the best Marvel movie to date. Do you think that Winter Soldier would even be worthy of, like, a nomination? I know that, like, since we're kind of getting into it, the Oscars are kind of just people awarding themselves, but if there was going to be a Marvel movie that you would put in the running for that, I don't think Winter Soldier is a bad candidate.
I think there's two movies that Marvel has that are very like Oscar, I guess, or more dramatic. You know how they mostly go for more serious, dramatic films?
Yeah.
The Oscars. It would be like that first Iron Man and Winter Soldier, definitely, because Winter Soldier, it gets into like, it's a thriller. Like it gets into, like some like it's a political thriller kind of thing.
And Winter Soldier was like one of the first Marvel movies. Like I think the effects have always been pretty good, but where there were effects where I was like kind of blown away by them. Like the scene where they're like doing the chase through the tunnel, and even like the simple scene with like Cap when he holds that helicopter at bay and stuff. Like there's a lot of cool stuff in that movie that's done really well.
Is that the one where he attacks the plane from that bridge?
Yeah, where
he's on the motorcycle and stuff. Holy crap! Like, yeah, like
it's those a really well-crafted movie.
Those effects are done so well that you don't even realize that they're effects. Like you never ever question that is that character doing those things. You know what I mean? Like that is Captain America. That is a human being doing those things. It doesn't feel artificial or video or like digital.
Yeah, they sell it to you.
Yeah, it all works.
Durakin pointed this out, and I think this might be the worst aspect of just like Black Panther's powers. That thing we were talking about where he redirects stuff. It says it wasn't even Black Panther's powers; it was his sister's technology.
Yeah.
Because his powers aren't really even coming from. They say he's enhanced from that magic flower. I know it sounds stupid. They say he's enhanced from the flower, but he's just like strong and like, I guess, more invincible.
Yeah, but even like having the chat say that, if you go back to Tony Stark, Tony created the armor
himself.
Yeah, so it's not like it was created for him.
And Comic Book Bob says, I don't like that Black Panther now has so much tech in his character.
Yes.
It'd be better if it was mostly him.
Exactly. I always thought of him as more of a fighter type, like, not, I guess, kind of street level, like a Daredevil, that type Batman, kind of guy. And I do understand, like in the Marvel universe, if you're gonna have these guys competitive, or at least fit in, you have to give them something else.
Yeah.
Because they did a pretty good job with Hawkeye and with the Black Widow. But those guys, they never ever had the label of being a superhero. They were spies for S.H.I.E.L.D. So they always kept them somewhat separate. Like their origins are separate. You know what I mean? Like their origins are S.H.I.E.L.D. Their origin isn't like as a superhero. And they all, at least in the early way they would sell it, is like none of this makes sense. Like I'm a guy that shoots arrows, and stuff like that. And even in the first Avengers, they have, and I thought this was pretty smart, they have Black Widow do stuff, and the only reason she was able to get to that rooftop and do what she did, because she had to get the staff and put it into that machine or whatever on the rooftop, is because nobody saw her as a threat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she was the one that was flying under the radar of the fight. So then it freed her up to do that thing, while Thor, Hulk, and Iron Man and Captain America were taking the brunt of the battle. She was able to go do this thing, and I thought that they utilized the character in a very realistic way. But a caliber of character like Black Panther, you don't want that.
Yeah, it feels like they're not playing as big a part as they could have when you give them something like that.
Right. So to avoid getting into that kind of scenario with the character, they give him a bunch of powers to where he can fight alongside Iron Man or Captain America or whatever.
Durakin says, you can have a super powerful character that is pretty much undefeatable so long as you have a villain that can match them. So when they fight, they're basically fighting back at ground level. But when you have to nullify the powers to make the fight get back to zero, you failed at creating good character/fight scenes. That was the problem with Black Panther too, because like you mentioned, Art, they had to do this whole weird MacGuffin of getting rid of the suit, because that Killmonger bested him in a fight. That guy was better than him at fighting. As
a Imano fight, yeah. And you know what? That's the best scene in the movie too.
Yeah,
because the stakes feel real, because they were. As soon as they put on the costume and they had that climactic fight, I was like, I don't really care. I don't give a crap. And that's horrible for a superhero movie. That's right. That's the kiss of death.
Definitely not Oscar worthy.
I call them sneakers.
I call them sneakers.
That was pretty funny though.
I laughed at that. I was like, I wish I would have thought of that. The Hardware Wars says, and that summarizes my thoughts about the Oscars too, rich people nominating other rich people and worshiping gold statues for doing their job.
Exactly. I remember years ago, there was a bunch of inkers. I don't know. Maybe I'll say names if you guys what are the names? And you guys chime in. And
how much of a super chat? Say names.
Yeah, and then I'll say names. But it was going to be called the Black Hand or something like that. I didn't come up with the name, but it was kind of going to be like an inker society, and so
secret society
of the nib. And
that'd
so
be cool.
So then as we were talking about ideas and stuff, and this was before the Inkwell Awards because they kind of took this place. But I was like, you know what else we should do? Because inkers kind of get snubbed all the time, usually in these awards. Because usually it'll be like, at best, it'll be inker penciler team or whatever, you know. Hold on.
He's charging up for this one.
I'm charging up. I'm hydrating. And so, yeah, so then I was just thinking, like, you know, all these award ceremonies, all they are is like people giving awards to themselves. Like if it's a fan award, it makes sense. And as far as I'm concerned, the most credibility you should give to an award is if a fan gives it to you. Like if
true.
if the industry gives it to you or something like that, it's like, well, who cares? But if a fan gives it to you, then I think it has more. To me, it has more impact because they voted with their money. Like they have no vested interest. They have no, you know what I mean? Like they don't care. Like they're sincerely saying this guy is the best guy or whatever. This guy's work I enjoy the most. And so I think the Wizard had the Wizard Fan Awards. But the thing is about the Wizard Awards, I can say this now, they kind of fell in the same category because they put up the categories. So like they would put up the categories and then fans would vote on them.
I remember that.
But it wasn't like the fans were voting for the categories. I think like if you're going to have a real award ceremony, the fans should, you know, should be the ones that pick the category, pick the books, all that stuff. But anyways, back on the awards, I just thought like inkers, like if we had this like community of inkers, we should also like sponsor, excuse me, an inker award that we give to ourselves.
That's the way you know you're legit.
And so every year or whatever, we just we just give awards to each other. You know? And so then we'd have all these other inkers, like, of course, this is all messed up, you guys. It was more of a joke. It wasn't meant to be serious.
Don't get mad. It didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't happen. But then there would be other inkers, like if it really caught on, like it's like, oh my gosh, this guy won an award of whatever. And nobody really knows that we're giving the award to ourselves, right? And say there's like 4 or 5 or 6 of us that are in this like group, and then we just keep winning awards year after year. And then like all these other like these younger inkers or these inkers that don't know, they're like, man, what do I have to do to get you know, like I guess selected to win one of these inker awards?
That guy has like 5 of these awards.
Yeah,
He's so well respected.
Hey Art, how did you win all these awards, man?
It's simple. Be the best.
Yeah, you just got to be the best, man. Put yourself out there. Strive for excellence.
And then you present him the award. Like.
Yeah, then, you know, he slips you $20 and then you give him the award.
I think we should still make it happen.
The Hack Shack Awards.
Yes, the hack awards.
We just give them to Comics Gators.
The hackies.
How come no one else ever wins? It's always just the Comics Gate guys. I don't know.
They just earn it.
Are you saying it's rigged?
Comic Book Bob says, Green Book is way better than Black Panther. You're absolutely right, and it's kind of an absolute insult that Green Book is even going against a movie like Black Panther, because the Green Book is a really, really good movie that's really well filmed.
Well, that's what we're saying is like it does kind of cheapens the really good movies. Like if you're saying that your awards are really about like excellence and the best of the best, when you start having movies that aren't quite that and that people can kind of see through your motivations, then it kind of discredits all your decisions and your whole awards, you know, ceremony.
By the way, Art, I recommend Green Book. It's kind of, when I first saw the premise, I thought it was going to be really heavy-handed, but it's really not.
I like The Notebook.
It's about this guy that's like, he's a pianist.
A pianist?
Yes, he's a black pianist.
Ugh.
And he's supposed to go on this
I don't
concert.
like the way you say that.
He's like really good, and he's supposed to go on this concert in the Deep South, and he has a driver that's supposed to like protect him, and the guy's name is Tony Lip, and he's like a bouncer.
Is that like Vince Bones or whatever?
Yes, it's Viggo Mortensen. He's like
Ooh, this movie just got better.
He's like from the Bronx, and he's kind of like a mafioso sounding guy. So he travels with him, and the two end up becoming like best friends, and it's in the era of segregation, and they bond. And it's kind of nice because like they have this really weird, genuine friendship that's really compelling, and like it's really good. I don't know how to describe this.
Who plays the other character?
It's what is the actor's name? I need to find him. He was in Moonlight. I forget the actor's name, but he's been in a couple things. Gosh, I don't remember his name. I just remember because Viggo Mortensen is like, I think they had him put on some weight, so he's like kind of like chubbier looking. Like he looks very different. It's Don Shirley, or is it? I can't see which one he is. No, Don Shirley is the character's name that he's playing, and his name it's Mahershala Ali. He's the guy that they were. If you remember that really embarrassing Oscar ceremony, he was the guy that was holding the Oscar for Moonlight, and what's his face was like, "Hey, you want to hold a real Oscar?" to the common folk, and took the Oscar out of his hands awkwardly.
Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah, the one that Jimmy Kimmel had. So that's him. He's very good.
You talk about a condescending guy.
I'll never
Jimmy Kimmel.
Let's mingle with the common folk.
Holy crap. What was there one where they just took people off the street and it's like,
That was the one.
is that the and it's like, hey, give this person your glasses.
Yeah, the lead actor was the one that was standing there with the Oscar, and he's like, "Let him hold your Oscar."
Oh my gosh.
Let's see. Winter Soldier was great, but not that deep. But it was a really well-made movie.
Yeah, it's not that deep. But I think it's at least it's like dramatic. It seems more Oscar-ish than, Black Panther.
Ooh, you'll like this. Comic Book Bob said names, but Comic Book Bob said apparently Marvel doesn't have enough inkers. Apparently the woke can't ink.
That's right.
I guess they're having like a problem with inkers. Yeah, like a lot of them.
You know what their problem is? They don't want to pay anybody good money to work on their books. So all the good inkers are at DC.
You guys should go look, if you have time to look for the archives of this channel. There's a video we did way back called Marvel Comics Hates Inkers.
Oh, jeez.
And it's very good. You should totally watch it after this.
The award goes to... Yeah, I got a couple of these on my shelf over here.
They're in a giant pile.
I don't mind saying. Got a couple inkwells over by the TV.
Actually, there is quite a few various awards. Let's do a, I guess that'd be let's say let's do an award tour.
And you know what, guys? They mean nothing to me.
Well, Durkin says, Art, I'll give you the best inker, whom I pirated tons of work from award.
There you go.
Just don't pirate black and white.
You know, yeah, that stuff doesn't matter as long as people are enjoying the stories that we're telling and that we're putting together. That's the biggest thing. Because do you remember this? Probably everybody in the chat too, because I think Taylor and I talked about this. When we were young and getting into comics, I didn't even know who drew these things. Like, I didn't even care. Like, I was totally just into the stories.
I have a comment that you're going to love.
Okay.
Star Tiger says, CB Cebulski just tweeted about not being able to find any good inkers to hire at Marvel.
All right.
Maybe you could apply, Art.
All right. You know what? You know what? Are we getting enough ratings? We got to get the word out, man, because I could spill my guts right now on CB, you chubby troublemaker, you.
CB the Ballski.
I don't know. Is this the right place? Is this the right place and time?
We might have to dedicate another video to it.
I think I'm going to need more either alcohol or more super chats to tell this story, because this is, yeah.
Oh, man, I forgot we said we were going to do that drinking game at the, true close of Black and White. We might have to hold that for the next campaign.
The true.
Remember we said that they super chat us a certain amount, we do shots?
Oh, well, yeah, we can still do that.
Comic Book Bob says CB Cuck Ballski.
I'm just gonna say one thing. There are two people, and it's no wonder that Marvel is in the shape they are right now. There are two people that I don't throw the H word around a lot, but I absolutely hate because at one point they totally destroyed my life, and I'm not even over exaggerating.
I remember when I first started working here, Art. Like the first thing you said is, "I was like, I think I was gonna meet up with you guys at a convention." You're like, "Whatever you do, if you ever meet a guy named CB Sabalski, don't say anything to him because he'll ruin your career."
Yeah, you guys, if you see him at a convention, don't say anything to him. If you want to work at Marvel, just keep everything close to the vest. Don't give him any dirt because he will use it against you.
He's a snake.
Yeah, he'll hurt you bad.
Star Tiger says that terrible squirrel girl artist in quotes got an Eisner Award for best artist. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are people that work, hours and hours on their craft. And then, somebody just comes along. And
I forgot. I'm sorry to interrupt, but they just brought up. Remember the whole scandal with CB Sabalski that they just let blow by, where he had like the fake Japanese pen name.
Yeah.
Is it AKA Yokira? You shit to beta.
Well, I remember I mentioned something. I think that Eric Larson had a post about it, and he was talking about. I guess that CB coming at Marvel was like this great thing and stuff like that. And I said, well, like I just said something kind of cryptic and like, we'll see, or something along those lines. And then he goes, well, what is it, Art? What do you have a problem with? Like he calls me out, and I just said, because I don't air my dirty laundry out like that. And like that story that I teased you guys with, I still really haven't told that story in any wide way to people, and I have every right to, but I just don't do it. And so then I just told Eric, I said, I'll tell you, sometime when we're face to face at a con or something like that, but I'm not going to tell you here. So I didn't say it in that thread.
Probably a good call.
Yeah.
I think the only time you ever touched on it, and I think it was brief, was during a chat with Mitch.
Yeah, I did mention it.
So we could always talk about it more in depth at some other point.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll come up again. Yeah. The sore spot.
It's not a nice story.
Yeah.
Let's see. The credibility of the Oscars died a long time ago. They gave awards to Robert Benigni. I don't know who that is. Roberto Benigni and Brie Larson. Brie Larson actually earned the Oscar if it was for Glass Castles. The worst one was Jennifer Lawrence getting an Oscar.
Wait a minute, Jennifer Lawrence has an Oscar?
I know she has one. I know she was nominated for for help me out, you guys. She was nominated for
X-Men.
Not Inherent.
First Class.
That'd be hilarious.
The one where she plays the archer.
It's the one where she plays some like drug addicted.
She plays Katniss.
Yes, she always plays Katniss. No, not the Hunger Games. Now everybody's saying the Hunger Games.
They're giving you crap. Let's help Taylor. No, let's give her crap. I don't know. I want to help you. I can't. I don't know.
I'm trying to find her nomination because now I have to know.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, she was Silver Linings Playbook. She was horrible in that.
You might have been stepping on somebody's.
American Hustle. She got Best Supporting Actress, and just watch a clip of her. There's like a really.
Was that the 70s?
Yes.
Like period piece? Okay.
And there's a really funny clip where like somebody basically they take like nominations that people got, and they show like clips of them acting from the movie, and they just show the clip of her dancing dumbly and then talking to that kid, and it's hilarious. Jennifer Lawrence got an Oscar for playing Taylor Swift. What are you talking about? I hope that that's true.
Taylor's jumping bad with the
Taylor Swift. Man, we're covering a lot of ground, from movies to being screwed over by Marvel.
Well, the thing is, we're kind of somewhat staying focused though. For once, like we are tangenting, but we're staying on awards.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, even though that's not what we started off to really talk about, but.
Oh man, speaking of which, another thing I'm going to have to react to tomorrow, Supposedly the first Umbrella Academy trailer is gonna arrive. That Gerard Way comic book.
Okay, I like Gerard.
I never. Did you ever read that comic?
Yeah, yeah. I don't really remember the details of it, but it was. God, I used to have. It was like Watchmen meets Doom Patrol or something. It's weird.
I just remember.
It's kind of like a realistic Doom Patrol.
All I remember is the aesthetic of that girl with the violin strings on her,
Yeah.
which I guess is the most iconic visual from that. Let's see. Every superhero.
Is that a Netflix show that that Umbrella? It's a series, right?
I believe it's going to be a Netflix show. I actually have a list here of the superhero movies that have been nominated for Oscars. If you're curious.
In the past?
Yeah.
Okay.
So apparently Black Panther, which received 6 other nominations, let's see, is up there. Superman in 1978 with, of course, Richard Donner directed it.
Was it for Best Picture though? A lot of those are like best sound effects and
let's see.
best score.
You know what? This list doesn't say what they were nominated for, which is gonna drive me crazy.
Because I mean, Black Panther deserves, possibly some. Actually, I don't know what it would be, but for special effects or something like that. Because what was like Suicide Squad was up for some like sound or something, best sound or something.
Makeup.
Like those things, I don't necessarily hold against them.
Valerian
For
makeup.
Well, all right, I take it back then.
Here's what Superman in the 70s was. Apparently it got a special achievement award for visual effects.
Okay.
So kind of in that same vein of what you were thinking.
Yeah, they're very rarely like best film.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be even rarer. Batman in 1989.
Best Picture?
The first one was up for. See, this is the thing. They don't say that they're. Oh, it was best art direction.
Okay, I'll give it that. Yeah, at the time that was pretty amazing.
And Batman Returns in 1992 was up for best visual effects and best makeup. And let's see. Apparently people were super divided. Best visual effects and best makeup. Yeah, that's what the 1989 was.
Yeah, I can see those.
Those are more typical, not to be like, but those are kind of more typical superhero fare.
Yeah, Best Picture is... Yeah, not to sound like a snob or anything, but...
Yeah, like the 1995 Batman Returns was nominated, but that was for like sound effects and editing.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Spider-Man was nominated for... Yeah, they're like best visual effects, best sound. I'm trying to see if there's any that were put up for best picture. Because so far these are all like effects-driven things. The Incredibles was up for... I think it was up for best animated feature. Yeah, best animated feature film was The Incredibles, which...
Oh my gosh.
It was pretty good.
Amanda's frying up some bacon. You smell that?
It smells really good.
Wife, not me.
Oh man, what are we having? What's the bacon for?
Amanda, everybody.
Hey.
Amanda!
Mom's making a salad for herself, and I'm making us fettuccine alfredo.
A bacon salad?
Yes, she's bringing it to her church thing tonight.
Yum.
Is it really a bacon salad?
It's spinach with apples, a
Oh,
lemon
man.
vinaigrette with bacon bits.
Oh my gosh,
Sounds
it
good.
sounds good.
All right. Tell everybody. Okay. All right. We went to Disney World a couple years ago.
Oh.
Okay. And Amanda, this was at the Grand Floridian, right?
Mhm.
Okay, this is like a 5-star hotel or whatever, like restaurant. What did you order, Amanda?
I ordered a Caesar salad with a side of bacon.
Yeah. Like people like add like chicken or something. No, she adds bacon. And it was the weirdest thing is that woman didn't even like blink. Like she was like, okay, yeah, bacon it is. And you had a great old time.
Well, that's like me at Starbucks. We hear all these weird requests. Like the other day, someone was like, "I want a Trenta black iced tea, no sweetener, and 2 shots of espresso."
She works at Starbucks, yeah.
Yeah, and in my head, I'm going, "What is wrong with you? That sounds disgusting." Or when people come in and they're like, "I want 14 pumps of liquid cane sugar, 5
Yeah.
stevias, and 3 pumps of vanilla." I was like, what? Okay, sir.
I'll mix your nectar for you.
Yeah, I'm like, that's basically all sugar, dude. But that's cool. That's cool. You do your thing.
Hardware War says bacon wrapped bacon with a side of bacon.
That sounds delicious. Or
What-
bacon wrapped jalapenos with bacon cream cheese filling on the inside. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did you used to have a belt that was made out of bacon, or was it a boyfriend or something?
Oh, my friend had a belt that had bacon on it. And then my teacher bought me bacon chapstick.
Ugh.
And then people used to, because they thought that I'd like it, bacon soda, like, you know, like actual soda, but it's supposed to be bacon flavored. It's the most disgusting thing in the world. Don't try it.
Did it taste like liquid bacon?
No, it tasted like oil.
Yeah.
Just liquid
What was
oil.
that stuff that you got from Stupid Idiotic? What was that stuff? That was something bacon.
Oh, what did I get from Stupidiotic? And it was awesome.
No, it was not
Oh, it was
awesome.
bacon popcorn. It made the house smell like burning flesh. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was bacon popcorn.
It's called Bacon Pop.
That sounds kind of good though.
Yeah, it tasted okay, but it was more or less the smell.
Stunk up the house.
Yeah, it smelled like burning hair. It was great.
Taylor's hungry. That sounds good.
I couldn't get that smell out of the house for like a week.
Do you ever notice, like, when you're really hungry, somebody can, like, talk about, like, the worst food? Like,
Fried eel.
yeah, and you're like, that sounds good.
The last weekend, TJ was fixing my car, and you know that popcorn, that caramel corn that you guys
TJ's
have
her
here?
boyfriend.
Oh yeah, TJ's my boyfriend, almost 10 years. You know that popcorn that you had here, Art? The like, is it called zebra popcorn?
Ooh, that stuff's crack,
It's
yeah.
like candy corn. He had some from work in a box, and when he went out to go work on my car in the rain, oh thank you.
What is it?
These M&Ms.
She said
Oh,
she
no.
was hungry.
No, go for
Okay,
it. No,
thank
I
you.
just said she was hungry, but thank you.
Anyway, I woke up in a stupor and I went and opened the popcorn and I was eating it in the morning and he was working out in the rain. He came back in. I could tell he was mad, so I shoved the popcorn back in the box, like ripped open. And then I guess he found it like a couple days ago. He's like, my popcorn is ripped open. It's all stale. I'm all mad. So I heard him coming. I was like, I gotta hide this evidence.
Did you ever tell him the truth?
No.
Well, now he knows.
He was like, it's already open. I let him blame other. Well, I didn't admit it was me. Let me see what you guys are talking about. Bacon.
Oh! There used to be a morning show, you guys. It was called Mark and Brian here, and they would have like little like confessionals, and so in the morning you would call up and you'd give like your confessional, and so it was like the worst boyfriend ever confessional,
Oh, no.
and so this guy's calling. He's like, I just want to clear the air with my girlfriend, and it was me that pooped in the kitty litter. And so then they're like, okay, well, whatever. That's weird. He goes, yeah, but the cat that she had was just like a couple weeks old. And it was a human-sized adult poo that was in. So when she went to clean it out, she was like, what the hell is wrong with my cat?
The size of the cat.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so there's this giant human-sized poo in the kitty litter. So, oh God, I gotta drink water. I'm choking here. Oh my gosh.
That would be incredibly concerning to find.
So she takes the baby cat to the vet because she thinks something's wrong with it. I mean, obviously, right? That's what you would think.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
how did this thing come out of that cat? Like, and so, so she's, the vet's like, I don't know what's wrong, blah, blah, blah. And so, I guess, for, 6 months, a year, however long it was, he never told her.
That's an expensive vet trip for a joke,
Right.
by the way.
Yeah, to get, like that, all that stuff checked and everything. So then he thought he was like being a good boyfriend. And so then, of course he's confessing it to her on the radio. And she's like, what the hell? I thought he was dying. Like, you let me think, whatever. And then it dawned on her. She's like, and the vet bills, I paid like $150 to get this pet, my cat and all that concern. And I was so worried. And you crapped. What's wrong with you? And he's like, hey, babe, whatever. She goes, don't call me babe. And so then he's like, well, like we can move on, right? And she goes, no, we can't move on. She goes, I don't ever want to see you again. Like she just broke up with the guy right there on the radio.
She humiliating.
Like, what did you expect, dude? Take it to the grave. You know, like,
It's only a joke if you tell her instantly before she picks it up and you both laugh and then you move on, not if you wait a long time and drag it out. Like,
yeah, like what? That's like,
then you never tell, like you said, take it to the grave.
yeah, you just take it to the grave.
Star Tiger says, oh, Durkin says, I want coffee sounds disgusting to me. Not a coffee fan. Chat says, there are bacon bikinis and bacon flavored coffee. Ew.
There's bacon everything, man. Amanda went through a whole bacon phase. Like, she would try anything that had anything to do with bacon. And by the way, to clarify, Amanda is my daughter, Pamela is my wife, and she's editing Black and White. And Taylor is my partner in crime here at the studio. She writes and draws with me. So that's the connection.
And the T-Bear household. Sierra Whiskey says, Art, sheesh, it's been a while.
Sheesh. Yeah.
The Shisha meter.
I'm going to make a sheesh t-shirt.
Hardware says, the Phantom Pooper.
Oh my gosh, right?
And
Like,
Sierra Whiskey says, I don't think you can laugh off a human-sized crap in a litter box.
you know, there. Oh gosh, I
Joke.
can't keep my yeah. There's never been a time that I actually wanted to see a poo, but just seeing, like, in context of that story, seeing a man-sized poo in a kitty litter, and then just like the baby kitty like sitting there next to it, that would be a hilarious image.
Sierra Whiskey says, a sheesh shirt.
Oh my gosh.
Draken says, to be fair, if the person is stupid enough to not figure out that it is a human poop and not a kitten poop, I wouldn't assume that my boyfriend took a jump in the cat box.
That's a big jump of logic that you'd think like a human would poo in the cat litter.
Because it takes effort. I'd be like, he wouldn't do something that dumb.
And also, this is why I think that, because what would that would say more about her, like that she just thinks like, man, I live with a really messed up dude. Like, because
Before you go any further, Sierra Whiskey said, my wife would instantly know it was me.
well,
I'd be in trouble.
you got yourself a keeper there.
She knows you then.
My wife automatically goes to the worst case scenario with anything that happens around here anyway. Art. Oh, what now?
Guys are that messed up, says Durakin. I probably would have done something that's stupid as a teenager. Let me see.
Oh, jeez.
James says, Art needs some guys in his life. Who is he going to drink a brew with? I'll drink a brew with him if you send me a super chat.
Why can't women drink a brew? Taylor does hate brews.
That's not true. Well, I don't like beer.
She'll drink alcohol, but she won't drink a brew.
I like mixed drinks and I like ciders, but I'm not a fan.
And for the record, we have drank.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, here at the studio.
Didn't we at San Diego this year?
Probably. Oh yeah, for lunch. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a mistake.
That was fun.
That's never a good idea.
Taylor drinks scotch straight up sometimes.
If it's good enough.
Yeah, you know.
If it's the good stuff.
Sierra whiskey.
I wonder what Sierra likes. I really like a good iced tea.
Do you have a drink of choice? I don't think we ever touched upon this in a chat.
I used to just like drink beer a lot, and then when I was younger, God, you know what? I drank everything. But there was a whiskey period when I was stupid, young, and in a rock band. It was like that's the beverage of choice, right?
Especially as a drummer.
Yeah, as a drummer. But now, like I don't know. Like drinking a lot of beer doesn't do anything for me. It's just filling, and it just makes me feel bloaty. So if I'm gonna drink, I like have like some vodka and cranberry juice, or
That's the best.
that's just kind of like a good just unwind kind of in the evening drink for me. So I will have a beer with friends and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that I won't have a beer at dinner, or I still like beer, but yeah, I think just the vodka.
Not a bad choice. Kind of a classic. I like absinthe.
It makes the heart grow fonder.
It does. Let's see.
Isn't that's really hard?
Is it?
I think so.
It tastes like
Apple juice.
like licorice. It does not taste like apple juice.
We used to drink like gin, like we used to like drink gin straight up.
Oh gosh, TJ always gives people gin at parties. That's his drink to serve people. They say there's some kind of like chart going around online where it's like self-loathing and then like hating other people, and like it was like the top self-loathing was a plastic jug of vodka and then hating other people was gin in a plastic jug.
Why a plastic jug? Doesn't even come. I think anything in a plastic jug would be humiliating.
Because then you know it's cheap. I don't
Right,
know.
exactly. It's like saying, boxed wine.
Sierra Whiskey says, when I'm feeling crazy, I open a Zima and some Pop Rocks.
Woohoo!
Pop Rocks.
Mm.
I haven't had that kind of candy forever.
I don't know. Pop Rocks is less of a candy and more of just an experience.
I like wine coolers. You guys have some interesting drinks of choice.
I remember once, like, I think it was, I don't know, like schnapps. Like, it's kind of like a chick drink, but I just
It
remember
is.
it's like, oh God, this is not good.
When I was in Vegas on my 21st birthday, some old man bought me a drink, and I was like, thank you, and I drank it. It was butterscotch schnapps, and I was like, ugh! Like, instantly.
Yeah, it's not
It
good.
was pretty disgusting. Hey, Mike is here
Mike S?
from Blacklist Universe.
What does the S stand for, Mike?
Super.
Super Mike. Hey, Mike, what's up? If you guys don't know, Mike has a YouTube channel. Go check it out. And also, I think he has 2 active campaigns on Indiegogo. He's got the Meg and he has Lone Star.
Is the Meg campaign still active?
I believe so.
Let me check.
Lone Star.
That was one of my favorite Edwin moments. Was when the Lone Star Squadron assemble.
I like that he's like, I warn you right now, back away from, or if you have headphones on, take them off because this is going to get epic.
Mike says the S is for Stan Lee.
Wouldn't that be SL? Ooh, SL.
Ooh.
Sounds like a rocket ship from the 50s.
Mike S.L. Miller.
That guy's like a rocket.
S.L. Miller sounds like a nice, like, gentle children's author.
Yeah, S.L. Miller.
That's a nice one.
He wrote Harry Potter. That's not a nice children's novel, though. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's pretty epic. There's a lot of death.
I'm just writing the way it's pronounced. Is your middle name really Stanley?
It is, I think.
Aww, I always like that name.
Yeah, he wasn't BSing. Because that would be Mike B.S. Miller.
I never got through this list of superheroes put up for Oscars, but all of them are like,
Oscar bait.
none of them are for best pictures. They're all for like best sound and best effects, and
They usually are.
except for The Dark Knight. What did it get for? No, it got sound mixing. This is some BS. So apparently there's a lot of nominations for superhero movies, but none for like a best picture type deal.
Yeah. It's usually the way it goes.
Let's see. What have you guys got here? Are we slowing down? Hey, if you guys don't mind, there's 16 people in the chat right now, and we only have 11 thumbsies upsies. So if you wouldn't mind liking the video, it does help the channel. We are monetized now, but I think anybody who does YouTubing professionally now will tell you that you kind of need to spread the word and get these things out there to get any real results. And of course, we got the super chats to help, but just putting out there, any thumbs up, sharing stuff helps.
Yes, please and thanks. I appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Title says BS is better than Batman Well or Blue Morpho.
Batman Well is awesome.
Which one's Blue Morpho?
I don't know, but I know Batman Well is from The Tick, right?
Yeah.
I am Batman Well.
Art, did you ever see the new Tick series?
No, I saw the Yeah, I saw the preview for it, and it looked pretty bad.
Yeah, I didn't have any interest in it just because of the cast. Blue Morpho is from the Venture Brothers.
Oh, okay.
He's basically their Green Hornet, but a Blue Morpho is a blue butterfly, so he's like he has a blue butterfly.
He's a blue
mask.
butterfly.
I knew that name sounded familiar.
I liked when I was into the Green Hornet, and I think, oh man, the Green Hornet, that's deep. And so I actually had an opportunity to write. I pitched to DC Comics a Green Hornet series, and I wrote the treatment and everything for it, the outline, and I pitched it to it, and actually it got the green light. And so then when I started looking deeper into the Green Hornet, I was like, there's no such thing as a Green Hornet. Like, this is all made up. Like, I thought it was like, you know how like you still have kid logic, like you don't question anything.
Well, because that's something you never looked into either. So
Yeah.
it's like maybe I don't know.
I never looked into it, and I was like, there's no Green Hornet. Like, so I had to rethink some stuff. So it became a joke in the series. Like, there is no Green Hornet.
Do you have any stuff for that? Maybe we could do a showcase of that.
I do. I
sometime.
have artwork, and I do have an outline for it somewhere.
That'd be interesting, maybe to like read or something.
Yeah, it was pretty early on in my career, and I pitched this thing, and to my surprise, DC gave me green light. But when they started looking into who owns the rights, there was a question. So I think it was Universal and somebody else. I forget who was the two people that own or were saying that they own the copyright. And so DC didn't want to get into, like, they didn't want it that bad. They thought it would be fun because that's the time they were doing kind of more of the pulp stuff,
Yeah.
where they were doing like the Shadow, and I think at one time they even like the Phantom had like a bunch of, like, he was published at Marvel and DC and stuff like that. So they were kind of more into pulp heroes and stuff like that.
I like those pulp kind of characters.
Yeah, I do too. And so, yeah, it got that far, and then they realized that this was going to be more of a, it could be a liability legally. So they just decided not to do it.
People want to know, but we could definitely talk about it. People, let's see, Pitch It to Dynamite says Star Tiger.
Yeah, the only thing is it's is it called close-ended? It has a finite end to it, and the ending isn't. Yeah, I would love to give Nick a call. Maybe they could do it as like Elseworlds or something.
Because it'd basically be like a close-ended graphic novel, right?
Yeah, but it ends, like, they don't go on further adventures. Like, it ends. You know what I mean? Like, it has a finite ending to it. And based on that ending, there could never be, I mean, never in a comic book they can bring people back to life, but at least the way it's written, it would be hard to bring them back. Not that they die, but it would be hard to bring them back as heroes.
Interesting.
Because one of the ideas, just in a nutshell, is, well, there's two ideas. One, I always thought like it's an interesting idea when you have a character for the greater good damns themselves, meaning that they do everything against their belief system. You know what I mean? Like the ends justify the means. They will do bad to do good, and that, like, just say somebody's, you know, very religious, but then they break their religious, you know, beliefs or something like that. You know, that type of idea. And then the other idea was, at the time, I always thought the hardest thing in a comic book superhero reality to buy for me at the time, or one of the things, was that why would they keep doing this? Like once Spider-Man brings, you know, Uncle Ben's murderer to justice, why would he keep going as Spider-Man? You know what I mean? Like,
he kind of closed his story in a way.
Yeah, he found justice was served. He did this, and then you would just move on. And so then they always use, well, he could do more good. You know what I mean? You know, and then And then with the Uncle Ben thing, I don't know if it was ever part of the comics, but in the movie they built this in where it's like with great power. So when you build that in, then you say like he has a responsibility to keep doing this stuff. You know what I mean? So they do have ideas, but I always thought like, at least at the time it was an idea that I was playing with, that if you were to damn yourself and then whatever it was that you were damning yourself to overcome, like this is the greater good, but you compromised all your beliefs to do it, why would you then do it again? Like why would you keep doing it? Like if this thing was so dire and so intense that you had to deal with it, why then would you don on a costume and go do this again, and then do it every night or whatever, the ideas are.
Yeah.
I thought Batman was kind of one of the exceptions that sort of worked for me. It's just that, like, what works for me with Batman is that Batman is fundamentally messed up. Like, the guy he's cuckoo, like, he's kind of nuts, but he's doing it for the greater good. He's doing it for, you know what I mean? Because he's a good guy.
He doesn't seem like he would have much of a life outside of it.
Right. So he just kind of resolved to the fact that he's going to keep doing this. And that since he is kind of messed up and was messed up at an early age, that he just wanted to make sure that this would never happen to anybody else again. But
Peter could still have a life, like a character like that.
Exactly. That's exactly my point. Yeah.
Mike, as well as a few other people, want to know if you're going to go on Drawn and Quartered tonight.
I do. I showed this, and I'll show Mike if Mike's still on there. See this, Mike? This is a computer, and I'm this close to setting it up because this potato tech, this iPad, the reason I couldn't go on those shows and stuff with you guys was because I can't sit at the board and really do it. I can't be in Hangouts. This thing won't allow me to go to Hangouts. So with the computer set up here in the studio now, I can.
And we got a fancy webcam too, so the picture should be crystal clear.
Yeah, so once I set that up, I'm going to be way more involved. So thanks for asking, and thanks to everybody that's been very patient with my absence.
We're going to set this stuff up ASAP. Hopefully by next week. I guess by next week this thing will be up and running. Set it up now, says John Malin.
Hey, John. I wish I could plug John. John's on YouTube too. Go see John's YouTube site. He's good.
Mike says it's in 2 hours. Let me know.
2 hours.
He also says computer.
Well, see, I can't use this and draw and do all that stuff because this piece of tech that we're using here, it does not link up with Hangouts. It'll bump me each and every time, so I can't do that. I can do it through the computer, but I don't draw on the computer. If I drew on the computer, it would, I could do that.
Soon.
Yeah, we'll have all those things ironed out.
We got all the stuff. We got all the components now. Taylor, no have phone. I don't live here, Mike.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I like the way Mike works always is like whatever the explanation you have is never good enough for Mike. Like
yeah, you do. He says.
See, he just proved my point.
Pretty much. That's funny.
And that is why Mike will succeed in every scenario.
Support the Meg. Get a bundle of books.
Get a bundle.
Black and white while you can.
Get a bundle.
You know what goes good with Lone Star and the Meg? Black and white.
Yes.
I was trying to find the origin when he said the "with great power comes great responsibility" thing. And apparently it appears. Apparently Uncle Ben didn't originally say it. It wasn't spoken dialogue. In Amazing Fantasy number 15, the original version, the phrase appears in a narrative caption in the last panel of the entire comic.
Okay.
I always wondered because I thought it was just from the movie.
Yeah, I knew that it wasn't. I knew that wasn't Uncle Ben.
Yeah. Let's see. What you guys got? What time is it? How long have we been going? I always lose
Not
track of
long
time
enough.
here.
It's 10 after 5.
Okay, I'm voting. Tonight they're doing the Universal Monsters.
Ooh, Malin's gonna win.
I'm voting for Bride of Frankenstein, says Rhaegar.
Sexy Bride. Have you ever seen those Bride of Frankensteins that Art Adams does?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh my gosh.
Those are really cool.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Universal monster?
I'm always partial to Frankenstein.
Does it-
I still want to see Hollywood do a really good Frankenstein movie.
So the Universal monsters would be Frankenstein, the Creature, Bride of Frankenstein. Some people include the Phantom. Like,
Yeah, that's a Universal. Yeah.
The Invisible Man, Dracula,
Yep,
Wolfman,
yep.
and the Mummy.
Yep.
I always liked the Invisible Man's design though when he has the wrappings.
And the Hunchback.
The Hunchback too?
Yeah.
Wow, they have a lot more than I thought.
I think all those monster ideas all originated with Universal.
I forgot they have so many. Oh yeah, there he is. He's included.
That one iconic shot that where he's on that little pedestal that turns, what's his name? Quasimodo. That courtyard is still in the Universal Studios tour. When you take the tour,
Oh really?
that courtyard that's been used a billion times, that European-looking courtyard, that's where that scene's filmed at.
Interesting. I never include him in the lineup. I always forget about the Phantom too, though. To be honest.
That original, is it silent movie with what is his name? The Man of 1,000 Faces. I forget the actor's name. Lon Chaney. That thing is so frightening when he pulls off that mask, and there's some scenes in that movie that are absolutely gut wrenching, and just it's. I think the reason it affects you is because it's real. Like he does it. There's a shot, Taylor. I don't know if you remember. I think it's a silent movie, right?
I don't think I've ever seen
the
that
original one. It's the one with all the iconic scenes. You know where he comes down the staircase with the skull mask and he's got all like the plume and everything,
Oh,
the
yeah,
hat
yeah.
and everything. I think that's the version.
The Red Death outfit.
Yeah. And so when he's getting away, there's a stagecoach. I mean, this is how old the movie is. They still had horse-drawn carriages and stuff, and he's on top of it. And so, well, I know it's supposed to be a period piece too, but the stagecoach flips, and he's on top of it, and he goes flying off that thing, and it's
man.
absolutely like it's horrific. Like you're like, oh my gosh, because then that stagecoach just flips over. So I don't know. I look at that and just think to myself, there's no way he didn't know that was not going to kill him.
It'd be terrifying.
Because I think from my understanding, I think that was Lon Chaney that actually did that stunt.
Man, those guys took their lives. Well, some people now do also, but when people do stunts like that, it always blows me away.
Yeah, but that was the actor. That wasn't like a trained, stunt guy. That was the actual actor.
Yeah.
So that was pretty amazing. I still love that movie.
I always forget, like, the man who laughs falls into the Universal Monsters category too, who's kind of the Joker influence.
Yeah.
Let me see what you guys are talking about. Malin will just do one of his graveyard ship characters. People are chiming in. They like the Invisible Man. Ray Thulu says, Art Bear, did you see Brana's version of Frankenstein with De Niro as the monster?
Yeah, and you know what? I remember Brana when he's doing all the press for that. Man, he sold the hell out of that movie. And I will admit, it's a pretty decent movie. And they did work through a lot of the flaws that I had, but it still isn't 100%. Because they brought in, I think it was it kind of a cloning idea? I forget what they did.
He was still in pieces.
That's the problem I always have with it. That's it.
Yeah, so it was like, because they tried to make it look more science-y, I guess, in a lot of ways, but he was still like in pieces.
Okay, that's it. Okay, there you go. Thank you for refreshing my memory. Okay, so
that one still hit the flaw where like he's cutting he's cutting cadavers up and stitching them together. Well, it's one thing if you reanimate just a dead body, right? That's all intact.
It seems
but
easier.
but it's another thing sewing together nerve endings and muscle tissue and all these other things, and then having them mend together to the point where they could actually work and things like that. So I think that's where I had a problem with. Having said that, there's this old movie. Maybe you could find it, Taylor. I think it was like a BBC. I think it was a British version, and I think it might have been like serialized, like it was a series. It wasn't one movie. And what they did that I thought was really smart in it, and I don't know, I never read the original Mary Shelley book, but what they did that I thought was smart in this version is it's kind of like what they did. They did kind of the idea of in all movies, Young Frankenstein, where when Victor reanimated the corpse, it was just a normal guy, and he was slightly attractive. Like he was all intact. There was nothing wrong with him. And so what happened is that he was so proud of this, and then his creation, he educated this creation, and he became kind of like what do they call that? Like a man about town. Like he became the talk of the town, the Frankenstein's creation. And so what happened is where the horror part comes into it is that the character decayed. He was going back to his corpse state as the movie progressed or as the story progressed. So there's this guy that was the creation that had all these accolades, right? He had the world that was falling in love with him and everything. So he was kind of like a celebrity. And then he loses that because he starts losing his looks. He starts, degrading, I guess. And so then he literally starts becoming the monster. And because he's losing that part of him, he starts getting angry and starts becoming like, not only are his looks changing, but his personality is changing too. So he's not this charming guy that all the ladies like and everything like that. He's a monster. And so then he becomes a physical monster and an emotional monster. You know what I mean? Like his mind starts
Tormented
yeah,
by this whole thing.
he's tormented by it. So then he becomes what we kind of know as the Frankenstein's monster in the story itself. So I always thought that was kind of a cool way to do it, because to me it worked better than animating all these different body parts and putting them together. It's not quite as cool.
I like the concept though, like, 'cause it seems so much easier to just animate a dead body than try to piece everything together, because that's not really even how a dying body works. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, how do you get all these different pieces and...
Did this movie come out in 2010 or 2007 by any chance, or was it earlier?
No, it's an old movie. Yeah, it's an older movie. I think it's all British cast. And I think it was like one of those BBC series, because
I could find this thing if I looked hard enough.
Because they would do these great series, yeah, I remember that they started off kind of the Kenneth Branagh one where they animated a hand, and I think it was the first time I'd ever seen they just animated a body part at first and stuff like that. And I think also this guy, when they started kind of trying to hurt him, that it was almost kind of like if you cut off a limb, that it was still animated.
Ooh.
So like if you cut his hand off,
He's still stuck living in a corpse, so it's like
yeah,
his pieces are alive.
yeah, his pieces are alive, exactly. So even though they're degrading, it's almost like zombie-ish. That they still move and things like that, and they move separate from him.
That actually sounds pretty horrible. I mean, pretty like horrific, and actually like a really good horror concept.
I remember it scared me more than, well, of course, like the Universal stuff is kind of, it by today's standards isn't that frightening, but yeah, that thing scared the crap out of me.
I like the concept of it. I'm gonna look into it. I've had trouble finding it. I thought I found it at one point, but it's been a long time. They haven't really done like a reinventing of the story where they don't have the like stitched together, pieced together creature thing. Because I know it's like an iconic visual, but it kind of doesn't work at all.
It doesn't work for me. I mean, it might work for other people, but it really doesn't work for me.
And the book is old, and like I know, like Mary Shelley was born in time. They didn't know these things, but like rereading the book, when they try to incorporate some of the things in the movie, they don't really make any sense because they're not. We know better now. Like there's the whole arc where it's like Frankenstein wants a wife, and then Victor Frankenstein destroys it because he's like, "What if they interbreed and have monsters?" I'm like, they're humans. Like if they somehow could interbreed or just be a human being,
Yeah.
it wouldn't come out a monster. Rhaegar says if they pick the Invisible Man and someone just uses a blank piece of paper at the end, that one's gonna get the votes for me.
Then in that case, I've already won. Okay, all right, Mike. You want me to be part of? You want me to be part of Drawn and Quartered?
Whoa!
Here's my entry:
How much?
The Invisible Man.
Let's see. Yes, the movie was silent about the other one you were talking about.
The Phantom of the
The
Opera.
Phantom, yeah. Universal monsters are great, well worth reading the original books. However, Dracula, Frankenstein, the Invisible Man, etc. Christopher Lee is my favorite. Dracula, says Star Tiger. Christopher Lee played Dracula.
Yeah.
Sierra Whiskey says 27 watching. Please like, sub. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
The Last Orion says Frankenstein especially is quite different compared to most of the Frankenstein films and the book.
Frankenstein. What does he mean by Frankenstein?
Is quite different compared to most Frankenstein films as the book. I think he means the classic movie is very
Oh,
different.
okay. It's very different than the book.
Or maybe he's talking about the movie you're talking about? I don't know. I love the scene where the mob is chasing the Phantom. He turns around and holds his hand up like he has a grenade, then opens his hand with this fooled you look on his face. Brana had Victor using amniotic fluid to reanimate him.
That's right. With it still was like electrical based, because I still think the electricity works because nerve endings and stuff. Like you could make things move, like jerk and stuff like that. You couldn't make them actually function in any way, but you could kind of make a dead something or other, like a limb or something, move.
I do remember the fluid because I remember him pulling Robert De Niro there and like slapping his back like a baby. He was like popping it up. Victor Frankenstein is basically a glorified necromancer. Star Tiger says, Art, have you ever read the Bernie Wrightson version?
No, but I've seen those illustrations. My gosh,
They're pretty amazing.
that is a high bar.
Do they always print those giant? Because they always sell them as like they're giant size books.
Like magazine size. I think the Frankenstein book was
like a big
in more of a magazine size.
Because they have that hardcover and it's pretty amazing.
I have it, and you know what? I know I've read it. I don't remember it though.
Let's see. You guys are talking about that is one of the greatest scenes in movie history. Somebody brought up Reanimator.
Oh my gosh, that is a guilty pleasure. I think my daughter and I tried to watch it not too long ago. Man, you know how we were talking about Paul Verhoeven the other day? Like that's like Paul Verhoeven. Like it was written by a 15-year-old boy. Like it has all like the weird like. Look, there's boobies.
Blood and boobs.
It's blood and boobs.
And that's why it's amazing. The Last Orion says, Art, is that a generic skull or a skull of someone specific?
Ooh, you're just going to have to pick up the book and find out.
There's only one way to find out. By by picking up a copy of Black and White on Indiegogo. I'll post a link right now. It's been a while. I don't think you guys mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see that Phantom movie.
Yeah, it's really good.
He still holds up as looking pretty spooky.
Yeah, I think the black and white aspect add to it as well.
Let's see. Oh god, we're getting into grim medical territory now. Stitching people's bodies together. We've done it with dogs. When we stitch the head, yeah, I know. That's bad. Let's change the subject.
Yeah. And that's why they're horror movies.
Yeah. Do you remember that really bad movie that came out in 2015, the Victor Frankenstein movie that no one saw?
No.
It had Daniel Radcliffe and James McAvoy as leads, and James McAvoy played Victor Frankenstein, and Daniel Radcliffe played Igor.
Daniel Radcliffe played Igor?
Yes. I'll read the synopsis.
Oh, master.
While searching for animal body parts at a London circus, this already sounds really bad, radical scientist Victor Frankenstein, James McAvoy, meets gifted surgeon Igor Straussman, Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh, okay, so they're not playing it like, oh,
I wish
master.
they were. He's all like
Hunchback.
I think he is hunchback though.
Yeah.
In this movie, not only does the brilliant doctor offer Straussman his friendship, how do you do that? But also a chance to
Here's my friendship.
Would you like my friendship? But also a chance to work with him on groundbreaking research that could change the world forever. When Victor's experiments with life and death go too far, only Igor can bring him back from the brink of madness and save him from his monstrous creation.
Ooh.
So I guess Igor's kind of more...
He's the hero.
He's the hero of the story. Oh god, the Frankenstein in this movie looks god-awful. I just clicked it.
Didn't Kevin Grievous do a Frankenstein? I wanted to see that with that guy that played Two-Face, the Harvey Dent guy.
That was I, Frankenstein.
Yeah, I wanted to see that.
Kevin Grievous.
I think Kevin Grievous got a good take on a lot of that stuff.
He is the man behind Underworld?
Yeah.
The very same. I don't know whatever happened to that. I know there was a comic. I don't know if he did the comic first or he did it as a tie-in.
The I, Frankenstein?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
What the heck? There's like toys from this stupid Victor Frankenstein movie?
The one with Radcliffe in it?
Yes!
That's weird.
The Frankenstein looks horrible.
There's only one licensable version of Frankenstein. I'm sorry, Hollywood. You've never even come close to redefining that original Boris Karloff design.
Yeah. It's they've kind of just been plugging into that design. That's what I mean. Like, I feel like that's the only reason they keep it's the aesthetic that keeps them doing the whole sewn together thing.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot better ideas at play. Let's see. By the way, Art and Tag, you have 7 days left for Black and White to meet its deadline. Oh gosh.
Oh, yoy.
Well, we've been working on this very, very diligently. I don't know if we want to talk about this now or not.
We'll announce it. Yeah, we're making headway. And we have a lot of the printed. We're getting the ash can printed now. We have the stretch goal stuff printed. I think we showed them yesterday. And the badges or the buttons and the patches are going to go out next week. So we're getting stuff done. It really is just the book. And I think we didn't realize, we kind of underestimated the amount of time it was going to take. And also the level of remastering that we are doing on this book.
Along with the additional pages that are from scratch.
Yeah. So I'm hoping you guys can bear with us on this, and we'll figure out more of a deadline and everything for you guys. But really, I mean, I want this book to look amazing, so I'm putting everything I have into this thing, and I'm trying to be as transparent as possible, so you guys can see the progress of it and everything, so you know that, you know, I'm on the up and up, we're on the up and up, and that, you know, we're going to make sure that you get the book, you get an awesome book.
You guys know we're not slacking because this is basically a constant behind the scenes. You've seen even some of our lettered pages.
Yeah, we're slacking, we're lacking,
You
we're
guys
not
are
slacking.
You guys are kind of getting the play-by-play.
The blow by blow, if you will. And having said that, I don't know how well this is going to photograph, but we have a bunch of lettered pages back from Jeff Eckelberry. So I don't want to spend too much time on this because you guys can read it. But just know, yeah, there's a lot of pages being done. I think we're working on page 38 now. So thanks for your patience.
Kat says, "I'm fine with you. We're fine. We are fine with you taking the time needed to get it done right." And Raven says, "Don't worry. I think we've all figured out that all of these first wave books are going to be a little late. You all are forging new territory and will be more accurate the next go around."
I think so, and I think Malin said it right, and I wish I would have had a talk with him or knew him before we launched this, and he said, whatever your deadline is, extend it by 2 months. And I think that's pretty accurate. And Taylor and I were just talking about this before we went on, that this never even dawned on me till recently. Because like John says, he's like, artists are real like wishful thinkers. So when they get into these things, they go, oh yeah, I can do it in this amount of time. And then what they realize is that reality sets in and that they can't. And so then I was just breaking this down with Taylor today, and everything that we're doing is like, okay, let's just say, all right, an inker gets 30 days to do a book, right? Yeah, hell, John Malin. Yeah, that guy is wise beyond his years. Okay, he's a kick-ass dude too, and he's a great artist. So there's 1 month to do inking, right? Okay, so that's usually 20 pages, right? Well, this is a 54-page book. So let's just say that's 2 issues worth of material, right? So that's 2 months right there just to ink the book, right? So then a penciler, they get a month to do a book. To do 2 books, that would be 2 months. Okay, a writer, I don't know how much time they really get, but let's just say they get a month to write every book, right? So then that's 2 months on top of that. So we're doing everything. You know, we're doing everything that those 3 things would entail. So writing, penciling, and inking. And we're doing it not on just 1 book, but on 2 books, the equivalents of 2 books. And I know this, I don't want to seem like I'm justifying whatever, because, you know, we're going to do our best and we're going to make this happen. But when you think about it, that's 6 months worth of work. You know what I mean? Like just that. And then there's the learning curve, and then there's YouTubing, and then there's also, like, we're working as like editorially on this stuff too. So we're working as an editor, what like an editor would do as well, and that's a full-time job on top of that. So like I said, I'm not making excuses, but it was way more monumental than I had thought at first, and I just wish that wasn't the case. But yeah, we will give you the best quality book we can, and we are working round the clock to get this thing done for you guys. So
like right now.
Yeah, and we'll be videotaping more of the progress and posting stuff up for you guys as we move along. So thank you for your patience and understanding.
Yes, thanks you guys. I know that thank you for your patience and understanding. Let's see what you guys are saying.
They're saying kick art.
No, there's a lot of support.
Kick art and tag. Well, don't kick Taylor. She's a girl. You can kick me.
You can, right in the face.
No.
I deserve it.
Ah!
I keep pushing the patches.
Yeah, that's true. Taylor keeps saying, like, Art, I think you could do better. Art, I think you could do better.
Compost says, Art, what is this piece for?
This is for black and white.
This is page 30.
It was 33, now it's 34. And if you are just tuning in, I'll recap it for you guys and let you see what it's for. Okay, I'm probably going to throw this. I gotta wait, let that ink dry. Okay. So it's a page from black and white. This is the finalized version. So this is the thumbnail. This is one of the new pages for the book. So this is the thumbnail. And
So this is a nightmare scene. This is kind of a recap of the hell that Whitney's been through. So this is like what motivates her to be loco. Okay, she's been through a lot, guys.
She has been through a lot. This is just a piece, but a major piece.
Yeah, so this is one of the patches for one of the panels that leads up to why she's nutty. All right, and I know I have more somewhere around here, but let me try to find. Oh, there it is. It's right here. I didn't grab it.
Hey, did I put something on top of it? Sorry.
Yes, you did.
Sorry.
Okay, so this is the patch, and this is the patch for that same page. So I think I have a version of it all together. All together now. So this is kind of what this page will look like in its finished state. So these red little boxes and stuff are for narratives and dialogue. So that's that.
Let's see. Don't look now, Art, but there's a skeleton under your table.
Ah! He's, what did we call him?
Skelly McDonald or something.
Skelly McDonald. He's Skelly
It
McDonald.
was mixed something.
McSkeletor. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it was yesterday that we were talking about McSkelly.
Blast Orion says, my nightmares seem tame by comparison. I feel much better now.
Yeah, so I think we have, that's what I was looking for. That one shot that's in the skull is this shot right here. So the shot of the little girl in the mouth will be this picture here.
Pretty cool.
So that will go right here. Yeah, and so those little panels that I've shown you will go here, here, and here. So I don't want to talk too much because then I'll be giving away a story. And I don't want to do that.
No more spoilers.
Spoiler!
It's Gail Simone's skeleton. It escaped.
What?
Why?
She went Skeletor.
Did I miss something?
I don't know.
Maybe name him Bones.
Bones McGillicuddy.
Let's see.
She took my bones.
Took me everything but my bones.
Took it. Oh, that's what it was. Took everything but my bones.
All right, chat's slowing down a bit.
Yeah, somebody's probably starting something up.
Are we competing with somebody?
I don't know, Mike. I think drawn and quarter goes up about 7. Yeah, I think, is it going on 6 now?
It's getting there.
6 cow time.
I wish I could play videos now that we when we have the computer set up. I'm hoping that we can like show video clips and stuff, maybe on Kiss Corner, because I really want to show that video clip of Peter Criss confronting his imposter in 1991.
You know my favorite shot of Peter Criss is, and I don't know where I saw it, is like he's got dyed blonde hair.
That's what it's from. It's from that.
Is it
video.
from that? Okay.
Yes. It's like bleached. It's almost white.
Yeah, it's almost white. And I guess just the still image is like, he's like, what?
Yes, that's from that video.
Okay. Okay, I know what you're talking about now.
It's probably showing up in your feed because it shows up on my YouTube.
I think it's in like now for some reason. Well, for some reason, listen to me. Like you know how like Facebook finds algorithms are like other sites you might like, and it's like the Peter Criss like Facebook site, and I think that's one of the images that shows up.
Oh, I gotta tag you with that picture of him with the cat ears. It makes me laugh every single time.
The fake cat ears, or the fake Peter Criss like kiss look.
He looks all sad and he just has little cat ears on his head.
Oh no, that's not, because I thought you guys were talking about that he had like for one of his covers, he was dressed up or painted up like the Catman from Kiss, but he was only half the Catman.
That's weird.
But it wasn't like he wasn't full like Kiss Catman because of copyright, so it's kind of like a jerry-rigged version of like the makeup.
It's like a knockoff cat.
Yeah, it's like a knockoff version.
It doesn't have the whiskers. It counts.
Or the whiskers, instead of 3 whiskers, it's 2 whiskers.
That's hilarious.
You can't get me in trouble for that.
I'm trying to find the Catman. The Catman. Oh my gosh, Do I like it? Where is it? I'm trying to find the Facebook page because I wanted to share it.
I
but-
think you're gonna have to speak up. I think we're starting to not project.
Alright, you guys are probably over this anyway. That was on Phil Donahue's show. Says
Was
Ray
it?
Lou.
Oh my gosh.
Instead of kiss, they are called smooch. This is Ray Thulu.
That's the knockoff. You know what my ultimate knockoff story is? I love this story. I absolutely love this story. Okay, everyone knows the Three Stooges, right? Well,
Yes.
there was a moment in time when the three that we know as the Stooges, lost the copyright to the Stooges. Oh gosh, hold on.
How does that work? I have so many questions.
Well, just like a lot of these things, they sign ownership over or copyrights over to their management or to like record labels or to film companies or whatever. So Mo is actually in real life kind of like the character he plays. So he's like the ringleader. He's the guy that's kind of calling the shots. So their manager, and this is like vaudeville days, like this is early, I think even before like a lot of the films and stuff. So this is when they had a stage act. And so they were like, gosh, what was it? They were unhappy with the management. And so Mo took over management from that guy, and I guess they fired that guy or whatever. And so that guy's like, you can't, I own the whatever. And so they're like, well, you don't own us, right?
See the Stooges fight.
Yeah. So he's like, you don't own us. So you know that like in a lot of the Stooge movies and a lot of the shorts and stuff, they have that paging, what is it, Fine, Howard and Fine. And so that's like, it's Mo Howard, Curly Howard, and Larry Fine, right? That's the three guys.
Okay.
So they became, instead of the Three Stooges, they were Howard, and Fine, or Fine, Howard, and Howard, or something like that. It was the three guys' names. So that became their like vaudeville, their act. So that's what they were calling themselves. So while this was happening, that manager assembled three new guys. There's alternates to the Three Stooges, you guys. Like, there were three new guys that were cast as Stooges. And so then that guy basically got to use the name, the Three Stooges, and recast them. And so then at a time, there were Howard, Fine, and Howard or whatever. And then there was the actual, like, usage of the Three Stooges name, which weren't those three guys. Isn't that hilarious?
That is really weird.
Yeah.
There's a knockoff. It's like, I wonder how many people went to go see that and were like, that doesn't look like the same guys. This is really weird.
Yeah, that's not those three guys you were telling me about, you know.
Well, those are the other Stooges.
Yeah, there's another group. There's another comedy troupe that are called Howard, Fine, and Howard or whatever. They still do this all the time. Like they do this with rock bands. Like Eddie Trunk talks about this on Trunk Nation, and he says like there's a lot of nostalgia acts and stuff like that. So there's a lot of like 80s, 70s, and 80s bands that are still touring, and so what they do is they tour with like maybe one member, and so sometimes it's not even like one of the founding members or one of the key members. Sometimes it'll just be like the bass player. And so somehow the bass player ended up able to use the name. And so then he uses the name and then goes out on tour as that band. And so it's buyer beware, right? So if you see on a marquee, you see, I don't know, Guns N' Roses or something like that. And then you realize that, well, this is not that band. This is, they're named that, but, you know, that type of thing.
I wonder, like, I don't know. I guess there has been other things like that where they do like a slight alteration to the name of the band itself to try to get around it.
Yeah, sometimes they're alter the name, but what I'm saying is like they're not even altering the name; they're using the name.
Because that seems like more of a, like I guess you would have more of a case if you were going to try to sue or something.
Yeah, maybe. I think that they can legally do it though. I think that's why they're doing it.
First assembling Frankenstein, now assembling the Three Stooges. Right through this says, new Three Stooges likely went over as well as the new Monkeys. There was a new Monkeys?
Yeah, I think so. And also, isn't there a new Stooges with like they're recasting them as like kids?
Someone just said, isn't there a Three Stooges reboot film coming out?
Yeah, I think it's three kids, and the weirdest one is like the one that plays Larry is bald. Like they kept the
Aw.
look.
Ray Food says Yes has a tour under the name Yes Songs because they don't have the rights to their own name.
Yeah.
Like if you go to a Kiss concert, but then you find out it's actually the Kiss.
Yeah, that would be weird because it's not the Kiss anymore, right? It's like two other guys pretending to be Kiss.
Yeah, it's more like it went over like the new Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really weird that because okay, the new Ghostbusters that came out by I can't remember the director's name, Paul Feig. His was like it was just called Ghostbusters, right?
Yeah.
But the new one's gonna be called like Ghostbusters 3, I think proper like I think they're going straight in the same continuity.
So they're saying it's tied into the first two.
But as we read earlier, apparently it's about kids.
Yeah,
So, I don't know.
it's little Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters did have like a similar thing. Now that I think about it, with the anime.
The real
Yeah.
Ghostbusters, right?
There was Ghostbusters and the real Ghostbusters.
That's right.
Which is funny. It feels passive aggressive, but it's a good move.
Taking back your creation.
You're like, you can have the name Ghostbusters. It's fine.
But we're the real Ghostbusters. It's like those scenes in like cloning stories where it's like, that's not Billy Johnson. I'm Billy Johnson. That's not Billy Johnson. I'm the real Billy Johnson. Shoot him. You know how they do that? It's
I
like,
can't tell them apart.
yeah, would the real Billy Johnson be able to know this?
That's funny.
I'm a sucker for all that crap though. They did that on that movie, The Island, that Michael Bay movie.
Did they?
Yeah, they actually had the nerve to do that.
I appreciate them going the extra mile for it. That's pretty funny. I was about to close this window and that Meet Your Maker movie was behind. I forgot how bad it looked.
Meet Your Maker.
The movie is talking about Daniel Radcliffe and James McAvoy.
Oh, that's the Frankenstein?
Yeah, Frankenstein and Igor.
They should just called it Frankenstein and Igor. That would have been a better title.
Well, the movie's called, I keep calling it Meet Your Makers, but the slogan is Meet Your Makers. It's just called Victor Frankenstein.
See, that's not even that cool.
No, Frankenstein and Igor is better. Speaking
It's
of
like a
clones-
buddy film.
Yeah, I would like that actually.
They go on an adventure together.
Speaking of clones, I heard Replicas is pretty bad. I didn't think that was a real movie. I thought that it was like a fan pieced together thing. Have you seen the commercial art?
No.
It's Keanu Reeves, and he has a robot family.
What?
He makes like I gotta read the synopsis of it because
I have to see this now. I'm a sucker for any kind of robot. I've seen even that Centennial Man, which was based on
Oh, gosh.
a good novel by Philip K. Dick, but
the movie's out right now. It does very little showtimes. William Foster is a brilliant neuroscientist who loses his wife, son, and 2 daughters. That's a huge family to reanimate, by the way. Wife, son, and 2 daughters in a tragic car accident. Utilizing cutting-edge technology, William comes up with a daring and unprecedented plan to download their memories and clone their bodies. As the experiment begins to spiral out of control, Foster soon finds himself at odds with his dubious boss, a reluctant accomplice, a police task force, and the physical laws of science. And the picture, I assume they were robots because they have like robot eyes, but I guess they're clones. No, they're robots. I'll show you a picture of what one looks like right now. This is what they look like underneath.
let me get my glasses.
So you can judge it for yourself.
Oh my gosh, it looks very animated.
It
doesn't look
does.
real.
They're in the commercial.
These are bad designs.
It's ugly.
You know, like those designs for iRobot, I thought were kind of horrible, but in the context of the movie and stuff, I kind of warmed up to it. But those, I don't know.
Yeah, they're pretty ugly. So he replicates his dead family, which would probably be a lot easier if he didn't have like 6 family members.
Also, aren't these better as like just short story ideas? Like for a 2 hour movie, right? Like,
Yeah. There's not like, how do you stretch that out?
because also these things just become like real fundamental, like cautionary tale stories. Like you can't clone your family. Like science run amok. Like I don't know. Like, do I want to watch that for 2 hours?
I know, it seems like, I don't know, it seems like a predictable mess.
Like a cool like Twilight Zone idea, but or a short story, like a
People are-
novel.
Let's see what you guys say. It'd be funny to make a movie called The Three, and then there is 4 people in the group.
Well, you know what they did? Like the Three Musketeers. There's 4 guys in that group. There's D'Artagnan. It's really the 4 Musketeers.
They always leave out D'Artagnan.
Poor D'Artagnan. Poor D'Artagnan. Brr.
The movie, aka RoboFam.
RoboFam.
You mean Bicentennial, not the Robin Williams? That movie was written by Isaac.
Isaac. Okay, Asimov. Okay, I'm sorry.
Apparently the robots were just a test. His family are more advanced clones. I would argue to not have that robot in the movie because it's in the trailer a lot and it looks horrible.
It's not a good selling point.
He will probably die in the movie and his clone family will clone him without the flaws. Yeah, exactly. Like that seems like the natural way of things.
Oh my gosh.
Because they're obviously evil in the commercial. A 90-page script is just a short story. Last Arrival. No, the scripts are they're 120.
They're 120. Yeah, I mean
words.
you could have less, but the thing is, like they're usually more epic just because it's filmed. Like I don't know, like a half-hour idea is not a 2-hour idea. Like if it was filmed, I'd rather see it like as a Twilight Zone or a
Black Mirror type thing.
yeah, just like a short little.
Lester Ryan says, I always found that amusing that it's the 3 Musketeers. And then Durkin says, there's also 4 Stooges, or actually 5.
But they're never together in one scene though.
Yeah, they're separate.
That would be freaking awesome.
That'd be chaos.
Oh my God! Can you imagine? Oh, like they do some kind of like nowadays, if they were all still around and stuff, they do a reunion movie, right? And they'd have it's like what would be like there's not enough Stooges, or you can never
Too many Stooges.
yeah you can never have enough Stooges.
They're all beating each other up into a chain.
It just becomes like a gang fight, and they're just beating each other up.
That's hilarious.
The six Stooges.
7 little Stooges. There's 4 temptations, or a billion. Let's see.
And there's 7 deadly sins.
I think you were trying to write D'Artagnan, but you put D'Artagnan.
Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one that mispronounced.
Because I got tagged in it. Isn't a musketeer in the first story?
Well, I know.
You can never have enough Stooges. The person who invented the politician. What does that mean?
Somebody invented the politician? It sounds like it was some kind of science effect.
I get it, because they need Stooges.
Oh, okay.
That took me a second to connect.
Here's a Stooge story, okay? Like, we're just combined.
What I just did?
Yeah, we're just combined, like, cloning and the Stooges. Like,
No.
somebody clones the Stooges.
There's a curly army.
Wait a minute, didn't they kind of do this? Remember that one? Oh my gosh, it was a Michael Keaton movie, and it was like he was cloning himself, and then each one had a different personality trait of him. And so one was like a doofus, one was like an intellectual, one was like a romantic guy. And do you remember that?
Which one is this? I don't
It was
remember
Michael
this.
Keaton in the day.
Oh man.
Like
I
when he
do
was
not
riding
remember
high.
this.
Yeah.
I can't recall.
And it was like the cloning machine just kept pumping out like new Michael Keatons. And as they kind of
Sounds interesting.
as they kept going, they were like, I guess, regressing or becoming more and more dumb.
When did this come out?
Oh my gosh, it had to been like 80s, early 80s maybe.
There was a Simpsons episode like that I think was parodying that. Multiplicity?
Yeah.
Laster Ryan says Multiplicity 1996. 1996?
96. Wow, okay.
Oh my gosh. Multiplicity. Keaton cloned himself, and then his clone cloned himself, and produced a copy of the copy, and they kept degenerating the clone.
That's what it was. That's how they did it. Is because it was like Xeroxing. You know how they go like it's a Xerox. Like the original copy is the one, but then if you Xerox from a Xerox, they become watered down.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's an amazing episode, my favorite episode of Gravity Falls, where they have a magical Xerox machine where you can like clone somebody by using a Xerox, and Dipper uses it. And at one point, they basically come printed out like of the Xerox. One gets jammed, and he pulls it out, and it's all like crumpled looking and messed up, and all it says is every time it talks.
Well, that's all it can say.
And it's like, it's still intelligent and has like subtitles. I remember there's a part where he's like, here, have some applesauce. It's like, it's like all like stuck in its mouth and horrible.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Kevin Smith is pitching a Batman Beyond with Keaton as Bruce Wayne.
I saw
original,
something,
Kevin Smith.
but I didn't know it was Mike. I didn't know it was Kevin Smith, and I didn't know it was a serious. I just thought somebody had posted that.
I can tell you if Kevin Smith is pitching it, first of all, it's been floating around fans for years, so it's not even an original idea, but he'll probably never do it.
Well, you know what I should tease right now
Ooh, I know what you're
is
gonna say.
is I have 3 issues of Kevin Smith Batman Geyer that have never seen the light of day. That's in the room right here with me.
Ooh.
And there's 3 completed issues, and I don't know if it got scrapped. I don't know if it got shelved. I don't know what happened to it, but it's Walter Flanagan's pencils, Kevin Smith's script and dialogue, and my finishes. Well, I started off as a finisher. I don't know what the heck I became at the end because
Everything.
Kevin had a problem.
Ooh, that could be a good story time.
Yeah, my relationship with Kevin Smith got reduced to him calling me sir a lot. Sir, I think you should, sir, if you would stop questioning me, sir, if you could just do as you're told, sir. I'm not even kidding you guys.
Oh, God. Lester Ryan says, Kevin Smith made Tusk. Never forget that.
Yes, I never will.
And by the way, real quick, Darkin says, I think the internet is pitching that and Kevin Smith is taking credit. That sounds about right.
Okay, that makes more sense.
I don't know if I like the idea of Kevin Smith doing any more films with heroes.
Well, to be honest, okay, well, maybe we'll save this for another.
But wait, Darkin says, I've read just about every Batman book after 1985, so you must give me those.
I'm thinking of selling the pages.
Ooh.
I'm not gonna give them to anybody. I'm like, I don't know how unethical it would be for me just to sell those pages.
Well, they never saw the light of day. It was abandoned.
Well, the thing is, my obligation with DC Comics has been fulfilled. Like, I'm not obligated to give them original artwork anymore. I'm just obligated to give them files. So they have the files. So what I was paid to do, I've done. You know what I mean? Like, I did the work. They have digital files. They don't have the originals, but they have digital files. So they could print the book. So I fulfilled my obligation. I guess the only thing is that I could be giving away story points or whatever if and when they eventually decide to print the thing. So that's why I don't know how ethical it is.
I don't know. I mean, you're entitled to a portion of that regardless, I would say.
Well, the thing is, I do have a point, which would be that usually the way these scenarios go is there's a royalty and a reprint fee that you make. And so by this thing never seeing the light of day, I never made that money. So if I was to sell these original pages, and I'm just talking about an ethical argument, I don't know if this would be a legal argument or not, that I could sell those pages and make that money that I didn't make because of, the royalties.
Yeah, because it was basically abandoned.
Yeah, it never saw the light of day.
And let's see. You're not selling the book, you're selling the original art that collectively happens to be in the book format.
Will that hold up? If so, I'll use it.
That sucks. He seems like such a nice guy. Does he? I never thought that he did, but if you say so. I know a lot of people really want to like him, but I don't know. I guess I don't fall into that category.
I did. I got to see the curtain pull back a couple times with Kevin. We did some panels together at San Diego Comic-Con, so I got to see. Now that I think about it, though, but see, I'm not enamored with the guy, so I don't know. It would have made a great story, but he asked me if I wanted to smoke a joint right in front of Dan DiDio just before we went out on the panel for the panel. And so there's a part of me, this perverse side of me, that was like, you know, that would be a better story, right? Like if I
I don't know.
I blew a jib with, Kevin Smith. Because wouldn't it be, well, I don't know, because some people...
It's so expected, though, you know?
Is it?
If you did it with Down to Dio, that'd be funny.
Yeah,
without
maybe.
Kevin Smith.
Are you going?
Yes.
Your church group?
Yes.
Go.
See you later.
Tell everybody I
Bye.
said hi.
Okay.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Have fun storming the castle.
That was Pamela, everybody.
Pamela, editor, and my wife of Black and White.
Editor Pamela T. Bear.
Waka
Bye,
waka.
says Orion. I wanted to like Kevin, but I heard so many stories, says Ray Thulu. And Darkin says, Kevin Smith talks a lot of trash. I think he's fair game to talk about.
Yeah, I wouldn't say like I...
We're not talking smack, you're sharing a story.
Yeah, I don't dislike the guy. I don't really have an ultimate problem with him. Just that I got to see through the veneer and I saw things from the other side. So, and I was never really enamored by him to begin with.
Yeah.
I always thought that maybe I was missing something between like an East Coast and a West Coast thing. Like it just didn't interpret to a West Coast sensibility, because it's more East Coast kind of based, the characters and stuff like that. So, I kind of chalked it up to sometimes those type of ideas.
I just read, sorry, I got distracted.
It's okay.
Darkin says, have you heard Kevin's story about shooting hoops with Prince? I hope it's true. He better not be stealing that Dave Chappelle skit from Charlie Murphy, because he told a story about shooting hoops with Prince that's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Remember where he talked about how, as the story goes, from Charlie Murphy, that Prince was I don't think he'd steal that story because it's too publicly known.
Did they do that? They did that. They illustrated that on the Chappelle show,
Yeah,
right?
they did it as a skit where he met Prince at a club and he was a fan of, Eddie Murphy. So Charlie and Eddie went over to his house with their friends and he said that they were going to play basketball. So they're all wearing their basketball shorts ready to play and Prince came out wearing the same stuff he was wearing in the club.
Yeah.
And his friends were all dressed all glam. So Eddie made a joke where he was like, is this going to be like skins versus blouses? And then Prince got super mad. And then he trounced them in the game. And he said he was amazing at basketball. And then he was like, skins 0, blouses 10.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. Prince schooled them.
Yay, Pamela. People are saying, have fun. I hope you enjoy study and they have some nice things, nice goodies to eat. Oh, you guys are so sweet.
Yeah, my wife's bringing what was it? The bacon salad or whatever.
It sounded delicious.
It smelled delicious too.
I saw his interview on Joe Rogan. The heart attack scene. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. I saw it as an interview on Joe Rogan. It just took me by surprise. The heart attack really seems to have shook him. I forgot he had that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you guys. I don't want to seem like I'm overly bagging on the guy. I really don't. But I just never that humor or that stuff. Like I said, maybe it was a West East Coast thing. It just never really did much for me.
I totally forgot about that. Someone said, "Well, he almost died recently, so hopefully he's mellowed." That was pretty scary because he's not an old guy.
Yeah.
And I got to meet his family and stuff like that. His wife seemed nice. His two little girls, Harley Quinn or whatever.
Rhaegar says she's literally bringing home the bacon.
She took the
She
bacon.
took the bacon from home. Bacon salad. What delicious madness is this?
I know.
That's funny. Let's see. And then he served us pancakes. They're telling the Prince story. That was one of the
Yeah.
best skits on the show.
Yeah, it's legendary.
And the whole oh gosh. What was the one Charlie Murphy met? Oh my god, it's gonna drive me crazy. The one singer, the one that she's
Rick James.
Yeah, Rick James.
Yeah.
Where he talks about kicking him into like they got into like a fight and he said that he just like kicked him in the chest and sent him flying into like a chest of drawers or something. He like wasn't even affected by it.
She's a super freaky girl.
The last Ryan says, treat the woman right, Art. Perhaps she can make you some bacon salad later.
Yeah,
Bacon salad.
bacon salad. She's looking after my ticker. Well, should we start wrapping, you think?
Yeah, let's wind down, you guys. I know that some of you guys are taking off. I just googled bacon salad, says Ray. Yeah, thank you guys for joining us. We gotta go.
Wrap it up, Mike says. Okay, boss.
Should we give our final?
Kevin Smith is a quirky person. Yeah, that says one of these days I'll share the story.
That might have to be a dedicated. The same with the if you're up to it, Art, the CB Sobalski.
Oh yeah, it'll be called laying down the smack. He's homophobic. Wait a minute.
CB Sobalski or Kevin Smith?
Which one, Mike? You got to clarify before we go.
Gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh man. Oh wait, I got to show this before we go.
Oh my gosh. That
Look,
looks good.
look what my daughter just made us.
Yum.
Yum, yum, yum. Yes, I'm gonna put it on my computer here.
The new.
Oh, Mike ditched us. He's not gonna. Oh, you son of a gun. You son of a wrencher, you.
All right. So,
So, where were we?
should we give our outro? I guess.
Outro me, Taylor.
Okay. Don't forget that Black and White is on demand on Indiegogo. It's gonna be up for at least till the end of this month.
Maybe longer.
Maybe longer, but don't wait because it's not going to be up forever. We're going to
Yes.
be closing it soon-ish. Still a lot of bigger tiers open, and don't forget to spread the word about that. If you want to see the stretch goals that just arrived from the printer and see what you're going to get if you've already backed the campaign, you can check that out. About 2 videos ago, we got some good look at all that stuff.
Yeah.
And don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and that way you won't miss anything live. And join the newsletter.
Yes,
It's
please.
fun.
Yeah.
And remember, there's a commission tier still available in Black and White, along with some of the other wonderful tiers.
I await. Oh, it's probably like I wait the 75-hour stream. Yeah. I'll wait. Yeah. Well, yeah.
And
What did
enjoy
we say we need the 72 hours for?
72.
Is that the drinking one?
That
What
was
is
the drinking one. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You guys don't forget.
Yeah.
And this will be the couple. Well, we'll probably maybe have a couple more videos of the potato cam, but it's on its way out.
Yeah, we're hooking up the computer now. We got to do that in our spare time. I have a friend that helps out, so we have to find an available time for him to come by and help out. But yeah, we should be doing away with some of this primitive stuff, and we will put up on Twitter this crazy apparatus that we have that's helping us out right now.
Maybe we can do a show off of the new setup once it's all ready.
We'll do shows. We'll do many shows for the rest of the forever, I guess.
Electron microscope level cam quality incoming.
Yes, we'll be able to scrutinize on all this. Look at this line work. Look at that.
Beautiful.
The bloop is back. Did you notice some of the bloops came out? Look at
Darn it, that would have been a good name for the stream.
The bloop is back. There it is. All right, you guys. Well, hey, thank you so much for hanging out with us. And we hope to be putting up some more videos once we get this technological hurdle. Once we get over that,
Art and Gary are getting advanced tech. Ooh, Gary's getting upgrades too. Ooh, cool.
Competition.
Yes. Okay, guys. So thanks. Have a great night. Go enjoy Drawn and Quartered, and tell everybody I said